Hello, people of the world. Um, I just sent the link to Ray Coelho. He is a Montreal activist who has done a lot of great work, and I have been associated with him with other projects as well too. Whoops. Been associated with All right. So I just sent him the link. I'm just getting ready for him, but I think it'd be a good opportunity. We're just kind of go. Um, I like to talk to people who have been in the game before and who know what it's like, know what it takes to succeed, as opposed to these internet grifters on the website here. Like I can mention a couple here: Stephen J. James, Claire Caw, a couple here who don't really have any real world experience. So this man here, he likes to, he's been petitioning the city of Montreal to have no FAP well, sorry, not no fab, to get rid of the fluoride from the water. And he has also done work recently protesting the Israeli occupation of Gaza. He came in with a sign and he got kicked out by the police. And he was um, escorted out, and that has an ongoing basis as well. Too, he is suing for constitutional violations of freedom of expression, which I believe is Charter Section 2A of the Canadian Charter Rights and Freedoms of Canada. Um, so yeah, so that's just basically it. I'm just trying to wait for him here. Not many people on here right now. Maybe I could send the link to others. Hang on. Let's see. Oh, let's make sure. Keep an eye on it. See if he comes. Um, I should probably put uh his uh his picture on here. Um, very interesting dude. Um, let's see. Give me 2 seconds here. See if anybody else is open to talk to other people. Um, yeah. So he has a lot of energy right now. I don't know where he is, but anyway, um, maybe I'll link him. He has a YouTube channel right now, and he's just basically he phoned me. I was about to do like a live stream, and he phoned me, and I was like, "Wait, you want to do a live stream together?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, why not? Cool." So yeah, you know, I I love his energy. I love what he brings. I love what he has, and I love um conversations we have. Very passionate conversations. I think I suggested to him that that we should have a we should get this on live stream because there's a lot of good information on here about NoFap and the benefits of that, especially towards young men who go to porn and the recovery process, whatever that may be, your lack of testosterone or whatever. He also says that also too that no fap is like you are what was it? You're he goes to protests and when he has his peak testosterone, which I think he has his insights on that. He has his details. He has his research. He's got experts on his side too about eliminating fluoride as well too. A lot of the haters out there will say that fluoride is good for your teeth, but obviously it is a neurotoxin, and there has been no studies whatsoever that has proven that fluoride actually has had any health benefits. If anything, from my anecdotal experience, brushing my teeth with fluoride, yeah, it's not a good uh, not a good thing. But yeah, it's it's it actually hardens your teeth. I brush my teeth with like charcoal, and it's really very soothing. Um. Anyway, so um. Yeah. Uh. So shit. Like oh like what? I got like 8 subscribers on here. I did have a YouTube channel where I had 100 subscribers, and then it did get taken down because of spam and deceptive practices, whatever that means. Um. And and it was commercial activity. I'm trying to think what was like deceptive and fraudulent about what was I doing on that previous channel. um and I kind of got some explanations like, well, it was you're a threat to democracy or whatever, you're promoting violence or whatever. I don't think I was promoting violence, I was promoting self-defense. um of course, nowadays with Canadian law, it's very ambiguous on what is self-defense. um, and it's very weird. Oh shit! I don't know if he's gonna come. Let's see. It's been like 6 minutes. Shit. Let's gonna see if he's coming or not. Think we do it live. You never know what you're gonna get, right? No one has really has it gone through yet? Oh, it's just been bombarded with shit. Yeah. So there's just people out there. I don't know if they're partying or whatever. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah. For, I usually have some viewers, but obviously, I think I might be shadow banned too, and obviously, it has part of my name on it. So that's also another thing too, as well. Um, I think he's just getting ready, but um, yeah. So basically, like this like live stream, like I just don't want to do it for money. I don't want to do it for like an audience or whatever. Like I just want to keep it raw, and I just want to keep it like genuine and just like I hate to say off the cuff, but like you want to choose your words very intently and very wisely, and I always do. Um, but I just don't. I'm just not of the philosophy of um, saying the right things and not offending anyone. Let's just see a lot of people uh, get offended a lot all the time. Um, and and so I think like um, sometimes I just really go off. I really go off, but I have some really good ideas. Oh, here's the man right now. Oh, it says device not connected. Uh-oh. Oh, there. Oh, at the stage. Ray, how are you doing? Can you hear me? Shit. Hello? 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 I think he's disconnected right now. Oh, did I mute him? What is he on? Maybe if I edit his mic settings. Um, I think he has some connection issue right now. Ray, can you hear me? Oh, we got private chat here. Oh, okay. He's just gonna be 1 second. So yeah, so basically we have Ray here. He's going to tell us about NoFap and his strategies of using it, and also his way how he keeps his discipline um, towards it. Um, yeah, and I think he has a lot of good insights with that. Um, I hope that my voice is loud and clear, but um, yeah. So hopefully he'll join us soon. But yeah. So I don't know. I don't really talk about like modern events or anything like that. But um Ray here, he made a poster and he said there's a lot of things that maybe he want to screen share. He just posted a bunch of videos. Hello Ray, how are you? Can you hear me? Shit. Uh oh. Maybe I fucked up. Hang on. Automatically. Okay. Hello? I can't. Oh, I can't hear you. No. It might be his mic settings. Yeah. Um. Hang on. Let me. If I go in here, audio default. Yeah, you have to go into audio, speaker, headphone. Hello. Do you have headphones? Oh, I can hear a little bit. If you go into settings and then audio, and then there should be a speaker headphone uh, option. There's like a default option. Sometimes that doesn't work if your computer doesn't have a um, speaker. Well, if I click on this, what's this? Oh, maybe I'll do this for him. No, I can't. Shit. I can only adjust your mic. What if I do this? Oh, cool. There. There. This is cool. What if I do this? Shift 1. Him. Cinema layout. Sorry, I'm just messing with the layout. Um, yeah, I just turned up your mic. But if you go into settings, testing 1 2 3 testing.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
There you go. Okay, perfect. We got.
I love this. I love this.
Okay, let me just.
I love StreamYard because you can just like you can move around different things. Sorry, this is not. This is kind of the raw moment of live. The audience out there. Um, but yeah, I have some viewers. I made some videos, but I was about to make a live, and you called me, and then you have some really good information,
Yeah.
and we always have really good conversations on the phone. And you're like, well, why don't we share some information with the audience here on what you've done? So I'll introduce you, Ray. So Ray, he's an activist in Montreal, like I alluded to before. He has petitioned to change legislation from the city of Montreal, specifically Pointe Claire, with removing fluoride from the water supply. He's recently he was how could I say kicked out for trespassing. Can I say that? I don't know. For at the University of Montreal for holding a sign with alludes to the events of October 7th with the Hamas attack and other information about Israel uh, occupation and Israel policies. Uh,
Yeah.
so, but you were alluding to like no fap. You're on the phone with no fap, and you're discussing some ways about.
Yeah, there's an actual way to feel invincible. There is an actual. See, I don't see like where the streamers are. I just have. I mean, if you want to see what I'm seeing, I just
Yeah.
see this. So I just see.
Sorry, my I don't have my best haircut. I could change it around. What do you want?
Yeah, that's what I see. I just see.
Oh yeah, I just change it around all the
I
time.
can't see like the people talking. I don't see like the people.
Oh.
You see?
Did you go on to comments?
Comments. Oh,
Yeah,
comments.
I don't know if anybody made here. I'll make a comment on there.
Join
Hello,
chat.
audience.
Join the chat. Connect. Okay, I gotta connect my YouTube. That's what it is. Okay, let me just.
Yeah, I just made a comment on there.
Let me connect, but I think I have to connect my YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just connect the YouTube in there.
Yeah.
Oh no, cancel. Hold on, connect my YouTube. Just another account. It's my actual. This is on YouTube.
Yeah. I wish it was on my other channel because I know for sure I get viewers. But yeah, this one I haven't really. I got like 8 subscribers, so I apologize. It's a little smaller, but whatever.
Let's try another way. Open your YouTube. Okay. Open this YouTube app.
Wow.
Say something here.
Surprised there's no one watching.
Continue. Allow StreamYard. Okay, we're seem to be in here.
Yeah, we're in here all right.
Let's see what else is going on.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll share it to a couple Telegram groups too. If people
You can
want to watch.
You can add Telegram groups in here.
Yeah, if you want to forward it to your Telegram groups as well too, kind of get it out there, kind of grassroots, kind of channel, I guess. Yeah, the thing is, I get viewers kind of rolling in, like they're kind of like they're sleepyheads, like they don't come in right away. It's like I'll make a video, and then like it'll take a
Well,
couple
like I
days,
was
and then
telling
the
you before,
views will add up, kind of thing.
I could
You
find
know what I mean?
anybody's cell phone number in the United States, and we should get like Sneeko, big people who do stream. And then
Ah, yes, yes, that's a good
I
idea.
gotta find out
Yeah,
how to do that. So, like,
phone
I'm calling up.
Sneeko, get them on here right now.
Let's get to the point. Like the equation to feel invincible. So I've got a calendar here.
Yeah.
So the first thing you got to do is here.
Okay.
Hold on. Focus in. As you can see, my room is a mess. A lot of, folders and stuff, and just every time a thought comes to mind, I write it down, and got all this other stuff here. And there's my bag, my school bag for school. Walk around with that, and it's just the life of a student.
Yeah.
Student life. There's my new computer. It's pretty fast. That was also my old computer from 2016, and that's an i5, 16 gigs, and this is an i7 with. It's pretty cool. It's got the you go from the side here. Pretty interesting. It's the cheapest gaming computer you can get out there. It's like $900. It's not bad. Gets the job done. I'm not gonna be gaming with it, so
Yeah.
just to process my schoolwork and stuff. Yeah, so basically the red circles are days of wet dreams, and then you can see like 1, 2, and then you got a stretch here, and usually this is the time where you feel invincible. This is like peak testosterone, and then you'll have another
second week.
Yeah, so this is like the 31st of December, and then January 1st, 2nd, whatever. So that's January 1st, 2nd, and then you got about a week there. Was that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. I mean, you just feel invincible around that time. That's peak testosterone. And you can do anything you want with that during that time. The girl of your dreams, the job of your life, making peace with whoever you need to do. I mean, you are invincible. This period here, I mean, just really anything after. It usually comes back after 24 to 48 hours. So it could be like these days. And mind you, like, we're talking like before this, what do you call it? You would have to have at least like, I mean, I'm coming up to 4 years of celibacy before like all this, and about like 10 years of nofap. So I mean, like, there's a lot of energy behind this. I mean, you might see a wet dream, but I mean, like, even though I feel shitty on this day, I'm probably like more confident than the average man, even on this shitty wet dream, or even after 2 days of shitty wet dreams. So you got a stretch here, and another 2 wet dreams, one after the other, and then you got a stretch here, and then you gotta yes. Well, there isn't a stretch. There was one here, and then 2. So you got 2, and then a day, and then another 2, and a little stretch here, 7 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, and then 1, 2, and then you got 1. So, and I guess we're here today. So it's pretty interesting. There's a science behind this, and there's a pattern behind this. Is what I'm saying, and you just feel invincible on those days, But that's basically what I was saying, is that I think there's definitely something there, and
Are you familiar with the? Well, there's actually a YouTuber on there. I talked to named Street Maxer, well known as Hormaxer, and he's this Jewish guy who is of the opinion, like, he goes to swinger clubs and he hooks up with like swinger couples, but like he's of the opinion of taking metabolic steroids to boost someone's testosterone. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, look, if I'm sleeping at night, so I'm right now, no steroids, no testosterone, just natural food and water, and I'm trying not to get a wet dream. And if I'm just like sleeping and getting an erection and getting a wet dream, you know, just like that. I mean, that's like what more do I need? I mean, I think I'm pretty like fertile, and you know, I think like if you have a wet dream, whatever. I mean, you should have enough testosterone to. I mean, how much more testosterone do you want? What do you want to get? You know. So I didn't fully
Well,
understand.
the thing is, it's like your testosterone basically it declines as you age, right?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it declines. They say it drops like a percentage after 30. I mean, what was your question?
Well,
Like, what?
yeah, it's just like
Like,
basically, what are
I
your
don't
thoughts
know.
on metabolic
They
steroids
call
and
they call
yeah,
steroids monkey pus because the actual steroid is created out of some monkey in a lab. So especially like
right?
in some unregulated place like in Eastern Europe. So I mean like I wouldn't mess around with steroids. I mean like
Yeah, it seems to be kind of a risky endeavor because you could like you have to. I did some research on it. It looks like you have to really monitor your blood pressure, make sure your
yeah.
blood pressure is
Also
even
when
out.
you
It just seems like it's just a lot of risk for
well,
you
it can
know.
also burn your liver because like
Yeah,
any message you send to your body through a medicine, whether it's ingested or injected, it comes in a shell, and that shell goes to your liver, and the shell opens in the liver, and that shell scars your liver, and then the message goes to your brain or whatever, tells you to either I don't know, Rogaine, produce more hair or whatever, or
hmm
get an erection with Viagra, or you know, increase testosterone, or
hmm
pain blocking signals with Advil. The shells can still scar your liver. So, uh, I don't even take Advil. I mean, so
yeah,
I mean, what?
yeah,
And also steroids for what? Just to be able to continue having sex, and
yeah,
it just seems
yeah. It's a very hedonistic ideology. Yes.
no. I think it's also like it's an equation. It's like why not just not have sex and just use the testosterone you have? I mean, like
Yeah.
my problem isn't like not having enough testosterone. I clearly have a lot of testosterone because I'm getting wet dreams when I don't want wet dreams. So I think my problem is like stopping wet dreams. But I think really what comes down to it is that with wet dreams is they say like it's going to bed when you're very angry, or eating a lot before going to bed, or even drinking a lot of water before going to bed. It's all these negative things that you should control with discipline. You should clear your mind before going to bed. You should have like maybe 5 hours of not eating too much food before going to bed. Just normal stuff like people usually eat at 6 and they relax after and then they go to bed, and that's like traditional
Right.
society. So I think a lot of the answers to this is in traditional society. Like not going on your phone and exposing yourself to stimulus. Whether it's movies or crazy action movie, or
I love
semi-sexual images on Instagram, or
I love watching Megan
porn.
Fox
Obviously, watching
movies.
porn before going to bed is going to get you a
Yeah,
wet dream. But and going to bed too angry. I mean, you should pray. You should meditate.
that's true. Yeah.
If you should,
I've been guilty of that.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
had a lot of rage lately.
yeah.
But yeah,
Um, so, uh, so what? So you were mentioning that when you were doing like petitioning, and this was a phone call that we had before when you were petitioning about the fluoride, and you did actually run for mayor, didn't you? Is that correct? Like a
I,
couple
I
years
tried.
ago,
I tried running as a counselor in my district,
counselor, right?
Montclair,
Yeah.
and what do you call
And
it?
so you were saying, well,
I
while
ended
you're
up.
going door to
Yeah,
door, y- when you no fapped, you basically when you were talking to somebody that like especially if it was a woman, like you felt like you had her mesmerized just by being
discipline carries itself in different ways.
yeah,
It's going to help you. You know, uh, it's just like it's going to help you take better care of how you look like or how you dress, and it also allows you to not only package yourself in a way that intrigues people, but even your speech is altered and enhanced by it. it's kind of like like it's like Venom, like in Spider-Man. He puts on this liquid, this ink, and it changes the way he appears. It's like it's kind of the same thing with discipline. I don't even talk about nofap. I think it's the nofap is in the category of discipline, because if you're abstaining sexually or abstaining from porn or whatever, and you're you know drinking a lot or getting high a lot, then that's going to compromise you. So it's like a chain. It's like you got a chain on, like where you're holding your backpack or whatever. And the weakest link on the chain, whether that's drug use or alcohol use or porn use or you know I don't know, personality disorders that you haven't addressed or whatever. Like you have it's just the package is discipline, and the end result is an enhanced, optimized self that people pick up on and they respect. And sometimes they might not even want it. I mean, if say well, when I was petitioning door to door, and I meet a woman at the door, she might not necessarily be into me sexually or whatever. It might not even be sexual at all. It just might be I like this guy. He's genuine. There's mutual respect. I like what he's doing. She's curious, and it's just just respect it. It might not be anything she can even articulate or you can even articulate. There's obviously some kind of she wouldn't open her door and continue talking to me if she didn't respect me. So there is a respect. So I think that's the first thing is respect. People do respect you, and they may not have to even be your type when it comes to women, or even like someone that might want to be a long-term friend. I mean, they might want to be a friend. I mean, it's possible. But I mean, it's just mutual respect. It's like you might not like Che Guevara, but you'll respect him for as a leader. Like it's kind of like that.
Mhm.
It's hard to just sum up. I hope that answered your question. I mean, I think it was just people see your
Yeah.
they see that you're brave enough to go to their door and actually talk to them as if you've spoken to them before. And the
I,
discipline carries itself in different ways. I think
I
it's a universal language. You could be in China or something and have this energy, and people will respect you. I mean, I haven't traveled that much, but I mean, I've been to a few different countries, and it's being able to keep eye contact is just I don't know if a single like culture around the world where not keeping eye contact is like considered part of a good communication skills.
believe it's in like Japanese culture
Not keeping eye
that
contact.
yeah, like it's
Okay,
important.
it is
There's
important.
there is cultures, and I think there is a couple of Middle Eastern cultures too that talk about
Keeping eye
the
contact.
importance of eye contact.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
So that's it. So you're not shaking, and that's just crazy too. Is it could be when I was petitioning door to door, and it could be the hottest girl, and you're obviously scared of getting rejected because it's a good looking woman at the door. But it could also be like the biggest guy, the toughest guy who can break you and in half if he wanted to pick you up and
yeah,
throw you away. You're still able to keep eye contact and talk to him as if he's the smallest guy, or if he's just a regular guy. I mean, it's just one-to-one human. It could be the ugliest person too. It could be the oldest person. It could be someone who can't even speak English properly, and you're just standing there confident, giving him respect. It could be anybody. That's the thing. It could be the hottest girl, the ugliest girl, the fattest person. It could be anybody, and it's not even at the door. It could be anywhere. It could be in a classroom setting. It could be at a job. It's just having the confidence to be able to look at someone, and I don't know, so they can have this giant mole on their face or something, and you're just keeping eye contact and not deviating. It's just that's what it is. It's a guy can have a tattoo on his neck, or you give him respect. You look in his eyes or in that person's eyes, and it's. I'm kind of going in circles here, but yeah, it's just about having confidence to. You know, I don't think I'm going in circles. I've never heard this conversation before, so I want to put it out there for people because it's.
yeah. That's very important. I think a lot of people they have a fear that they might get into an intimidating consequence. I know some people that I talk to, like in the alt right sphere or even nationalist sphere in general, either on Telegram or YouTube. they make the excuse sometimes that, well, they're afraid of going to speaker's corner, or they're afraid to go door to door, and preach what they believe in. Um, I have ideas like, I just, to me, I just feel more fulfilled that I went out to the public and I let people know, let my neighbors know, or my community members know how I feel about this current state of things, as opposed to just staying on air. I feel like that helped my mental health a lot. But maybe you have some other advice as well too. Is somebody who maybe is struggling, and they're afraid to put themselves out there, whatever it may be, a job, or if they want to petition something, or whatever it may be. What advice do you have to those people out there?
Well, I mean, look, I think you know the first question is within yourself. So if you're honest about yourself and your mental state, your own life, you, your habits carry themselves too. Just like I was saying, like just as discipline carries itself, your habits carry yourself. So if you are an alcoholic, a drug user, a porn addict, or whatever. I mean, these are negative things. People try to hide it, but they have this tendency to emerge. And people also have these sorts of questions when they talk to you about things. Where was it going with that? I mean, I went through my own journey of cleaning my own mind, and it gave me better understanding of potential political items I wanted to bring out to the world. And I rethought a lot about certain things. I mean, we're just talking, and you're kind of interviewing me here, and I'm speaking nuances. But uh, to answer your question, I mean, it's just health. If you're a healthy person, you in some ways are able to, I mean, it depends on the topic, obviously. If you have, again, like I felt that sometimes I was also experimenting, and when I was going door to door with the fluoride issue. It was my way of getting my feet wet and seeing how people would receive it. And the fluoride issue is a pretty clear issue. I mean, you have medication added to water. It goes against the charter, but there's these loopholes in this whole thing with fluoride about it being a water treatment chemical. But the fact that it has been actually, it's kind of left up to the municipalities to decide. So I was trying with my municipality because it has been won by other people in Canada and in Quebec where I am. So I was trying this own battle, but at some time I realized also like there was this dynamic where the city of Montreal was fluoridating for Point Claire, and it was a dynamic that rarely exists anywhere else where fluoride has been taken out. So in this case, the city of Point Claire was just throwing the ball at Montreal. Montreal's throwing the ball at Point Claire, and then Point Claire actually gives water to like four other places. So you have just like this dimension where people can just deflect, and it was so complex. They were just playing it against each other. It makes sense too because like there's only one other municipality that has fluoride in the water in Quebec, and it's like out of like 1,200 in Quebec. So it has this dynamic doesn't exist elsewhere in Quebec. And I think the reason why fluoridation still exists in Point Claire, Montreal, or in Point Claire done by Montreal, while Montreal doesn't do it themselves, is because there's this ball throwing dynamic and they can deflect. And I don't know if anybody's come before me doing it, but where was it going with that? As for your general question about what should people do when they want to go out, is evaluate what your issue is and to see how important it is because you have so much time. You only have so much time and energy, and I'm feeling it now. I'm taking 5 classes at the university. It's a full-time load. I've got all this other stuff I'm trying to like juggle and stuff in my own life. And every time I have an idea, I'll take a blank little paper here and I'll write it down. It sounds cheesy, but I'll just write it down. I'll put it on my desk, and eventually, like my desk will just overflow with like things I gotta do. And then at one point, like I'll wake up in the morning and I'll look at things what I can do today, whatever. And it's amazing because like I have things to do. I'll grab like 4 or 5 of these, and I'll try to get them done in a day. In some ways, this is kind of like my brother tells me you shouldn't do this. You should just like if you have something you got to do, don't kind of put it on a back burner. Just do it. And there are obviously some things like I'll just do. Like if I need to go take care of myself or go get a haircut or something, I won't just write this down. But yeah, I mean, if I need to go get some food or groceries or something, but like some basic like longer term things. But I mean, I need to digitalize this system. But in some ways, I don't trust like putting this in my phone because say if all this is in your phone, it's not hard for someone to kind of stay ahead of you if you're hacking your phone, and that's the thing, like if you're a target, you won't even know, and it's not hard for like someone who's. So that's not. I mean, where was it going with this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I answered your question. I kind of like.
That's perfect. I've just been kind of just in the chat, just kind of basically kind of overlaying and adding some points. So you were in the University of Montreal. It was November 30th, right? And you have posted some clips on your YouTube of the event. Basically, it was explaining events of October 7th, and you also had a multitude of topics that people could Google to educate themselves on the Israeli government. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, that's I mean, here I've got this. Get it for you. It was similar.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's got the sign, ladies and gentlemen.
This is how this sign looks like. Pretty cool because it's
screenshot that, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because it's got like made of different paper. It looks like it's one sheet, but it's actually different sheets that have been cut with a slicing board. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
That's the word for it. And I just tape. So I'll take one piece and I'll tape around it. I'll put another piece beside it, tape around it, and it's transparent tape here. And then like between the lines, I'll take a marker. I tried doing it. This is the color. The seams. There were no seams on this one. Like you can see, like the white lines. It's just that when it's really cold out, the air that's kind of trapped in the paper will expand. But when it was made, there were no seams. So it was kind of like this here. Like it's kind of clean. It's pretty cool because like if you were to have someone professionally make a corrugated plastic. I just got this corrugated plastic board at a hardware store for like $30, and it's basically free to print this aside from like not that much paper and tape. But what was I going to say? Yeah, I actually have this made, printed on a corrugated plastic board. Costs about $90. So that's like I guess a creative mind that comes with discipline, whatever else. But yeah.
Okay, so who are those guys there on the other side there?
Yeah, so this is these are just people they were all except for this guy. Everybody else here was killed by Israel. More specifically
the Israeli government.
Well, the Israeli Defense Force.
Okay. The army.
The army, exactly.
Yeah.
Which the government kind of operates, so it reflects because they haven't. So this is Rachel Corey. She was a fresh out of university kid.
Oh, I think I've seen a couple of videos about her. Wasn't she like ran over by a tank?
Yeah, she's an American girl who went out to Israel as an activist and was, I believe, in the West Bank, preventing Israeli bulldozers from destroying someone's house, and they crushed her with the bulldozer. So there was an IDF guy. Most people don't realize it, but it's like actual IDF Israeli, military that operates bulldozers. I mean, people. I mean, in the American military, Canadian military, you don't see bulldozers being operated. I mean, I'm sure they have some, but you don't see them in war zones. But the Israelis kind of like weaponize bulldozers to tear down people's homes. This guy's a Canadian who was serving in the the UN peacekeeping mission in the 2006 Lebanese conflict between Israel and Lebanon.
Didn't he also serve in the UN? Or am I thinking of somebody? When in terms of the
he was a peacekeeper.
Genocide.
I'm not sure. I mean,
he just looks familiar. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible he could have been in Kosovo, Bosnia, that
Yeah,
conflict in what's the Adriatic Sea area in the 90s.
yeah,
Whatever the case, he was at a UN outpost and he was observing along with a few other people from the UN, and they kind of blew him up as he was watching. And it was actually classified by Harper. Harper was a kind of like his pro-Israel stooge, and whatever the case, I mean, it was a tragedy because Israel did compensate his family at one point, so they kind of accepted guilt, but they didn't accept guilt. I mean, they're like, yeah, here's some money, but it was an accident. Just telling if the whole incident. So this is Mordecai Venuto, which I actually found on Facebook and added as a friend. And we talk every now and then, and he basically was working in Israel's illegal secret nuclear weapons facilities in the Negev Desert, I believe in the 70s and 80s. And he was a like nuclear scientist sort of dude, and he turned peace activist, and he was kind of disgusted by like things like the what do you call it, the Samsung option, where Israel says, if ever it goes to war with a country and that country gets the upper hand, they'll not only nuke the hell out of that country, but also as much of the world as possible. Like, if we go down, we're going to take as much of the world with us as possible. So he was disturbed by all that stuff, and he came out and he was telling, he went to the UK and he was talking to some, British journalists about this nuclear facility, and the way he described it, they believed it because, I mean, if you're making those claims that there's nuclear weapons being made illegally underground, I mean, they're going to test you on your knowledge, and he passed the test, and he also passed the test because Israel sent out this honeypot, this woman trying to sexual blackmail him. So no, excuse me, let me say that again. This honeypot, where this woman actually got him to meet her in Rome or something, and it was this it was a spy basically trying to say, I love you, come to Rome, we'll meet in a hotel room, that sort of. But she was like a Mossad agent, and they captured him in Rome, and ever since they brought him back to Israel, obviously, and he's been there under like indefinite arrest. He's been through like a secret military trial after secret military trial. He's like indefinitely under arrest. Someone's arrest him, put him in jail for 2 years, let him out, arrest him, put him in jail for 2 years, and he can't leave the country. And he isn't. I mean, I'm sure he knows why. I mean, we know why, but I mean, he's kind of like like just in, like he's in prison, like he's enslaved there, which is sad. And he's the only one alive. These other two guys, this guy's from he's from the UK, I believe, or no, he's from Australia. He was a photojournalist who went out and was just taking photos and stuff in a peaceful for peace in Israel Palestine. And he was shot. He was sniped. He was killed. Same with this guy. These two guys were making documentaries about peace in Palestine and Israel, and they were both sniped. And one's Italian, and the other one is he's from the UK, and he's from the UK, and he's from Australia. So I think it's the opposite. He's from Australia, and he's from the UK, and they received compensation because he was from the UK. I mean, like it was taken more seriously. Whatever the case, I mean, these guys all like had a peaceful mission, and they were all killed, with the exception of this guy. And I stood with the sign, and it's also it's got this propaganda aspect to it because most people are used to seeing like Arabs and Palestinians and Muslims, whatever, being the victims of the Israeli military. But I guess when they see like white people here, people from Italy, Canada, United States, Australia, the UK, even Israel, they think about the bloodthirsty nature of the IDF, which is being seen right now as the World Court is saying that there's a genocide going on there. So that's this image, and it's pretty it's pretty to the point, and gets people thinking, and they look into these people, and when I'm standing there like this, like at a metro station, I mean, some people might remember one or two names. They'll remember her for sure. It's the first thing you see, like when you're looking at this, you see her, and her story is pretty sad because and the other side is basically the more controversial one.
Mhm.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm
Yeah,
listening.
I was at the metro station with this. No, I was at the university with this, and they what do you call it? They called the police on me on. They let me stay there on November 29th, but on the 30th and Thursday, they called the police, which didn't make any sense. It was the same sign, except there was maybe some points that were not there. I think this last one was not there. This one was not there, and I think this one was not there. The last one, but
Mhm.
they were all there. So those two, and no, this one was not there, and
Mhm.
the last one was not there. So I mean,
Okay,
when you Google
so
it,
I'm looking at
yeah,
this board right now, and I'm just trying to see what is really um uh controversial about it,
yeah. There's
and
no opinion here. Just
I can't really see. It's just documentation of events. So maybe
well,
you can go through. Let's start with the October 7th for knowledge. So
so when you
if someone
Google,
were to Google
I'm
that,
not
what would
this is
they
my
find?
opinion. So when you
Hmm.
Google these things, like when you Google October for knowledge, October 7th for knowledge, what are the first articles that come up on Google? I mean, this is even like I'm not even talking about DuckDuckGo or some crazy, Iranian, I'm not saying Google. I'm not saying use an Iranian search engine. I'm saying use Google search engine. So I mean, how crazy am I? So how crazy am I if you Google October 7th for knowledge and you're getting articles saying that I don't know, people made money on predicting October for knowledge in the stock market. So people actually made money on predicting October 7th in the stock market. There's articles that say that, which
Hmm.
is like what do you want? Like that's not my opinion. There's no opinion here. It just says Google it. So if
Yeah.
you Google the first thing you get, I'm not talking about the last thing or on the second page or the third page or the last page. I'm talking about the first thing you get in Google when you type in October 7th for knowledge. It's an article that talks about. You actually don't even get any mainstream articles. It's just like and they're not blocked or anything. So just Google is notorious for when you type in a controversial statement, they'll give you something the opposite. Like if you type in I don't know 9/11 truth, you'll get it. You'll get like the 9/11 library museum website or something, which is not going to tell you about 9/11 truth. But when
Yeah.
you type in October 7th for knowledge, I guess they haven't gamed the algorithm on that, or they don't know how because what are they going to say? It would be very obvious. I mean, if you type in October 7th for knowledge, and then you suddenly get like some October 7th memorial website out of Israel. I mean, they might be doing, they might have that. I'm saying this now, but they might do that in the future. But for now, when you talk about October 7th for knowledge, you get a lot of like damning websites. Like some things that obviously there's a genocide going on. It's a narrative. There are people politically vested in keeping that narrative under wraps for the moment. And this is the time. Like they don't want. I mean, maybe in 2 years if I came out and held this sign somewhere, you probably wouldn't care. But some of the people at the university, they lost their mind, as you can see in the. Maybe you want to put in a link from that YouTube page with those videos of me with the police coming. I mean, they really
Hmm.
lost their mind. I mean, like teachers were calling the police on me, but you see this one teacher, she didn't even talk to me about it. She was just filming me, and like when I would start talking to security, like she tried filming and she realized I wasn't saying anything inflammatory, so she stopped filming. It was really funny. All they could do was just call the police and try to, and they took pictures of the sign, but at one point they didn't want to take pictures of the sign because they don't want this to get around. That's what's funny. It's like a fire. It's like you're gonna tell someone about a fire, but you're not gonna like bring them the fire itself. Because they don't.
Hmm.
So yeah, October 7th for knowledge is it's a big one. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
October
So
7th is being used as propaganda as war atrocities to justify what the International Court of Justice is now saying is a genocide. So it's pretty strong. And I had this sign back in November, like a month ago. Uh, 2 months ago. January is almost done, and so yeah, almost 2 months ago. And people are saying this now. Now the victims of October 7th are saying like they want a full investigation. So it really makes you wonder. Yeah. So go ahead.
Well, there's also the claim too that they were decapitating babies.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, that it's funny because no, it's not funny because it's a serious
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, decapitating babies is a disgusting act of savagery. But in that
Mhm.
case, it's interesting that Israel did not mention decapitating babies at the International Court of Justice. They didn't mention that. They just said that they're at war with Hamas and Hamas is genocidal. But you think they would have mentioned decapitated babies at the International Court of Justice as a response to their siege in Gaza. So they did not mention it. So it's pretty telling that it's propaganda because in an actual court of justice, they're not mentioning. So I mean, I don't think I need to say anything else on that. I mean, the fact that they're in court now and they're not mentioning, you know, decapitated babies, burnt bodies, or any of the stuff they were saying on October 7th or October 8th, the day after it happened, is very telling. They're basically saying they're at war with Hamas, and Hamas is, genocidal or whatever. And I think, the other thing that these people didn't like was the fact that Israel helped create Hamas. So when you type in Israel helped create Hamas and funded Hamas, you'll actually get like the Wall Street Journal and a NBC report and a Intercept report. Uh, so I mean, this is the first things you get, and you get a lot of things there that talk about how it was actually done. You don't see any articles that counter it. That's the thing is that when you type these things, it's actually one-sided, and it's not. Most people might say, "Oh, you're trying to portray something one-sided," which I'm not because there's no opinion here. But when you Google it, it's actually one-sided itself because there's only one side to this truth. So I don't even have to like say anything here. I just say Google it, and there's one side you see there. So yeah, there's. Go ahead.
Hmm. Uh, okay, the 1950 and 51 bombing of Iraqi synagogues.
Yes.
Um, do you want to maybe explain that one?
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
there's
quite versed
actually
in that.
like there's actually a Wikipedia article for that, and that's what it's called,
Okay.
and has sources actually there. And
Hmm.
basically, in 1950, 1951, you had Israeli military intelligence. You had a cell. Israeli military intelligence operated a cell in Iraq that targeted, the Jewish community and
Hmm.
targeted more specifically bombing synagogues, places of worship where people were present, and their goal was to scare the Jewish population to leave and come to Israel. Which I mean, obviously, if you have a settler colonial state or illegal occupation of a country, if you have 10 people there, it's harder to justify it and take it. It's easier to take it apart and harder to justify it as an occupation. But if you have 8 million people there, from all over the world, it's harder to take apart. So that's Israel's goal is to get as many people immigrating to Israel as possible, and sometimes through like very very gross terroristic actions like bombing synagogues. So when you show this, it tells you it kind of like has a reasonable person question October 7th, as an inside job because if Israel was willing to kill its own people, or it's not me saying that, it's them saying that because they
The
take
state of Israel.
yeah, I mean, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Israel takes on this mantle of being like the Jewish state only when they have Palestinians and Christians and all kinds of other people there. And so
Right.
if they're willing to sacrifice and kill their own people, they want to represent or even want as immigrants in Iraq, for instance, in 1950, 1951. What does that say about October 7th? And what does that say about who's the terrorist and who's the anti-Semite? Because you see these claims being thrown out. You're a terrorist, you're an anti-Semite, but if Israeli military intelligence and the leaders of Israel are going around killing Jews in Iraq, for instance, by bombing synagogues, what does that actually say? And it's not. I'm not saying anything. What does that say? I mean, like, I guess a person looking into it has to decide. And I guess any reasonable person who reads these articles would say that it's crazy. I mean, the
Hmm.
leaders and these people creating these operations are out of their mind. And it says a lot. I mean, it just says it just says Google history, you'll be horrified. I mean, that's really what this is. Because why would the American taxpayer want to give money to a country that hasn't resolved? Because that hasn't been resolved, for instance. Like, it's something that happened in the country's past, and there hasn't been justice there in regards to that, so it hasn't been resolved. And why would the American taxpayer want to continue sending tax money to a country that has history like this that's horrible, but hasn't been resolved? So it's yeah. But again, I mean, the people at the university that had a problem with the sign couldn't articulate what was wrong with the sign or articulate any of these points. They didn't want to talk about it. They just said it's upsetting people and you got to get out of here. So I mean, it just shows you how powerful the sign is, and it's taken on its own like cult following, and the sign has become more than myself. I mean, it's
its own cult. It has its own. Does it have its own Facebook group now, or what?
Well, a lot of people recognize the sign and they don't know my name. I mean, they're like, "Oh, I remember."
Oh, okay.
I remember the event. I remember police coming. I've seen this. I've seen this protest, and they recognize. They're like, some people come and be like, "Wow, that's crazy." I've looked into these things, and they're just like, "Wow." It's like, "Wow." They're just speechless, shaking their head, walking away, and it's just like it just makes them think. And it's the sign started off with maybe half of these words, like, and then later like it had more words, and I'm expanding, as you can see, expanding the words to the furthest point at the corners, and I think it's the biggest it's gotten. So yeah, it's pretty interesting how it's turned out, And then all these other points are even crazy, like the Hannibal Directive. I mean, the Hannibal Directive basically says that we're seeing this stuff now. I mean, we're seeing this. I imagine that to have been October 7th. I imagine that to be October 7th, where Hannibal Directive is where you have if you have the enemy capture your troops or your civilians, you have to kill the civilians. You have to kill the captured. That way, the captured can't be used as a bartering chip by the capturer or the captee or my
Okay.
yeah. So that's what they're saying. What Hannibal. That's what they're saying. What October 7th was they're saying a lot of the victims, a lot of Israelis were killed by the Israeli military because the Israeli military didn't want these people to be captured and used as bargaining chips by Hamas. That's one area. So basically, the Israeli military killed a lot of people, and we know that. But we're seeing that a lot of people at the festival, a lot of cars. I mean, we're seeing the carnage, pictures of like rows of cars that are being buried now, or have been buried, and not even looked into. A lot of evidence has been destroyed. Houses have been shot at by Apache helicopters. So let me say that again. We're seeing like signs, and we know that there's signs of the Israeli military killing, civilians in an attempt to kill as many Hamas guys, or, I mean, these are war crimes. You just can't kill civilians because you think they're about to, get captured, and then turn around and, say that those people were killed by Hamas, and then carry a genocide out because of that. And that's another thing too, is that they're saying that Hamas was trying to kill as many people as possible. From what I've understood and what I've read and seen in interviews and what have you, the Hamas guys, I'm not saying it's justified, but they're saying that these guys actually just wanted to capture people and bring them back and use as bartering chips, for negotiations on land and releasing their prisoners. So it actually doesn't make any sense for them to have just killed as many civilians as possible. Although that has, I'm sure, there are also claims that, non-Hamas guys went in and just did things like that for revenge. But the Hannibal Directive was basically present in a sense where helicopters shot at a lot of the cars and buildings because we see the damage could not have been done by Hamas guys with guns. The scale of damage is it's too big. Like, we're talking like not thousands, but hundreds of cars, rows of cars that are charred, houses, the roofs of houses blown off. That doesn't make any sense. Concrete reinforced walls in these kibbutzes blown up. I mean, that could have only been done by tanks, and we see those tanks. So yeah, that's one. And that's something they really don't want me saying, is that Israel killed Israelis. That's the one thing they don't want to say. And there's also the Dubdadan unit, which is a unit in the Israeli military that actually does clandestine operations where they dress up like Arabs and do terrorist activities. And
Mhm.
that's, if you look at the unit and its description, that's what it says it does. It specializes in. And it makes you wonder where a lot of these Hamas guys ran or that unit, which makes you wonder as well. So yeah, go ahead.
So, I just wanted just to kind of share with maybe a clip. You got a whole bunch of clips, but people can go on your YouTube channel and they can check out all the clips. I think you posted 9 clips of the event, and then you got
Yeah,
some shorts here too.
yeah.
But I could probably I can let's do this one. Okay, so I'm just gonna share just one of the clips, clip 7 here. It says here at Concordia, political retaliation.
Yeah, so you got a teacher in the background there. That's why I think she's a teacher. Yeah,
Okay.
she's obviously
That,
filming. She looks
yeah.
older. This is a
hmm
university where the average person is about 90 years
Who's
old.
is that the security guard that's in the black shirt and the black pants and like
Yeah, that's
gray?
one of the security guards there. I mean, he's seen on tape saying that to sign up sus people. He doesn't want that kind of environment. But that's very subjective because one, you're allowed to protest. It says you're allowed to protest. I mean, he can't really articulate what's wrong with the sign and what upsets people and how it upsets people. So there's like a methodology they usually ask you in these, like when when when, when there's an investigation or whatever. It's like, what's wrong, why it's wrong, what did you do? I mean, like if he told me like this is wrong, this offends someone, and we can do this, this, and this, and he's reasonable about it and he explains it. Maybe they could have been some kind of remedy that could have been some kind of we call it some kind of negotiation or some kind of consensus that could have been resolved right there and then. If you said, look, this part is out of line and offends people this way, and it breaks these laws, these codes, then I probably would have erased it or put something over it. But there was none of that. It just said like you sign up such people and we don't know how and why. And I mean, look, he's there. And he's like, he's just like, he doesn't really know how and what. It just there seems to be something else going on in the background. Like as you can see, seemed like a teacher there in the beginning with the camera, and she was trying to film it, and she realized there was really nothing to film because I'm not going berserk, and it's kind of embarrassing for them because they're just
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it makes you wonder, it's. And,
Okay.
they're all smirking, and it's just like I don't know. It's like it really is political retaliation. I think it was like this is the punishment you get. You're getting this punishment. We're exacting this. It's kind of like if you look at the definition of discrimination in the school, it's like putting someone through, a certain process, to make things hard for them. It's like I forget how it's written, but yeah, and then you also see videos of other people protesting in the exact same area. Clip 1, 2, 3 there.
Yeah. Okay. Clip 10. I think this one you actually this one's got the most hits too, and
Oh,
this one you
I just put out.
attracted a
That's crazy. I just put out clip 10
this is
yesterday.
one person.
yeah
Like one
2,000
dude with
views
a
already. It's pretty crazy.
yeah.
like what? No, literally. What the
So
fuck?
you're literally
Why are you all Blue
causing
Lives
like
Matter?
a
Like no
big crowd.
shame! 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 Shame!
I like this one.
Yeah, it's,
Like this is one person.
So how did this
Like,
crowd
one dude
like?
with a-
So how long were you
Like, no, literally. What the fuck? Why are you all Blue Lives Matter?
how
Like,
long
no
were you there until
shame!
it took them to gather?
yeah. Say that again.
How long were you there for them to like outside?
I was really outside for about like 20 minutes. I mean, but most of the people gathering outside came from inside because like as soon as so the security was trying to do something. They were trying to make it seem like I'm causing a disturbance
Mhm.
by standing around me, and then obviously when there's like 10 security guards around you, people are gonna start wondering what's going on, and then it just compounds. But like before the security came, like the flow of traffic and people were just it was moving. It was you have like one or two people or five people come talk, take photos, leave. It was flowing. But as soon as the security came, like it kind of like I'll give you an example. Say like if you pull over on the side of the road. Like say you pull over inside a road, you have a nice car. You might have one person drive by, look at it, say like, nice car, take a photo, whatever. You might have some people walk by, and then say if you and then you have this like in this is a good example. Say you have a cop who's really like jealous of your car, or he hates your car or whatever. And he'll pull over behind you, and then say like three other cop cars come, and then people it's gonna slow down the traffic. You might have people stop. You might have a crowd gather and watch. I think that's what they were trying to do. They just wanted to make it seem like I was creating the disturbance or the gathering, which isn't even illegal because one, there was no disturbance because nobody was acting unruly, and then two, like you have the right to peacefully assemble. Like people, it says that in the school. It says like you have the right to peacefully protest and assemble as long as it does not inhibit the university's function. So like I'm in an area where there's literally nobody around me. There's nobody tabling around me. There's no tables around me. There's no one behind me, beside me, whatever. Just in this area that's just empty, and it really makes you wonder. So I think they screwed up either way because like the police, when you actually see these videos, I actually got these videos later, which is pretty cool. And I don't think the security and police realized I would have had footage later. But the police basically said that this guy is in a jacket, the blazer. These two guys are security guards. I guess he's working like an undercover capacity with the jacket on, and kind of the other guy too with the black.
Undercover? Like, what do you mean undercover? Like,
yeah, I mean they'll have like plain clothes. Like security guards don't have plain clothes, but like you have to. There's another guy with a hat.
Oh yeah, he has like the earpiece or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess most people wouldn't think like he's like security guard. I don't know.
So what are the policemen saying to you in this clip here?
They're basically saying like, you come outside, you have to leave, you get the hell out of here. They're not telling me any reason. Because that's the thing. It's like you don't have to comply with a police officer if you're not under arrest. Obviously, I mean, like if he's just giving you like, directives, but like not telling you why you're under arrest and. It's just like come outside. I think it was a consensual conversation. That's really what it was. But they wanted me to leave because the director of security the director of security wanted me to leave, but he wasn't giving me a reason why, and he called the police in retaliation. I think some other people called the police too because you had like another 2 squad cars come in there after.
Mm-hmm.
So to answer your question, they basically wanted me to leave that area, and. It's like you got this undercover guy with the beard. That's usually how the security guards look like with the jackets and the vests and stuff. And then you see the director of security there a few seconds ago with he's got a blue shirt on tucked in there. And I don't know. He just wanted me to leave. This was really political retaliation because there wasn't any like cogent reason to leave. There wasn't anything cogent there. It just said like get the hell out of here. But there wasn't any like policy cited. There wasn't any infraction cited. There wasn't any law cited. Because the university says that in their policy says that in order for them to call the cops on somebody, the person would have to have have to have committed a crime or have to have broken policy. In this case, none of that was done. So they were just saying like the police were saying that like you have to leave because the director of security is asking you to leave. So in some ways, it's kind of like a trespass, but they never gave me a trespass, which.
I heard you say in I think it was one of these clips that so I have to. So if I wanted to stay, I have to put a garbage bag over the sign.
Yeah, I guess something I suggested, and later they actually went. They actually like told me. They told me that the sign can't come back in and has to be covered. They said they basically said like the sign can't come back in the way it is because they basically wanted me to leave because of the sign. So obviously they were saying that the sign cannot be in the school. So like I as a reasonable person would deduce. Like it's the speech on the sign that's the problem, which doesn't make any sense because the speech doesn't break any rules. So either way you cut it, like they're screwed if this goes to court, and this won't go to court. So I basically said like you basically want me to cover this for the sign to come back in. I said, look, I don't mind covering it with garbage bags if you have garbage bags. And they said, yes, cover it with garbage bags. So basically, they're basically saying that the sign in its display cannot be in the school, which in itself is a violation of political beliefs, because they deal with politics, with government, foreign or domestic, and that's covered. And as you can see here, there's people laughing and clapping and whatever as they leave. They're like telling me to leave. There was a lot of people watching this. It was like, it was pretty. I mean, there's all kinds of people here. I mean, like I'm not gonna say this person, that person, whatever. But there's obviously people with political agendas there. But this is before I get it. I don't even need to get into the the details of the politics behind it. I mean, it's really like a free speech violation. And I have a teacher who teaches like not for profit law, and he told me he specializes in law in general. He's a lawyer, and he said like, yeah, there's something fishy there. Like, there was a violation there for sure. Because like, one, it was done egregiously because they couldn't tell me what was wrong with the sign. Even the police just said like, the police didn't mention the sign in some ways. Like when they first came, they're like, we have to get out of here because they didn't even ask me if I was a student. So I don't know. Like I have a police report, and I guess when this goes to court, like all this could be like investigated because the police didn't ask me if I was a student there. They didn't ask me anything. They just said like get out of here. Like the director is taking control of the school. Is what they said here. Like the director is taking control. The director of security, taking control, and he wants you out of here. So like it was like a trespass basically, but like it was more like it wasn't even done professionally because like they want you out of somewhere, like they trespass you. It's just like they give you something in writing or something. Like it's like it's just like it's not like back in the day where it's like get the fuck out of here and they just kick you out of a place. It's like it's done professionally with like paperwork and. But I was smart enough to get the badge numbers of the police and the event number, like like there's obviously like the police go back to the station and write the report. There's 911 call attached to the report. There's evidence. There's all this stuff attached to that report. So I have that report, which is good. Yeah.
Right. So So basically. Do you plan on going back there?
I found a place. I mean, honestly, look, I don't want to appear vexatious, but at the same time, like, it's my right. Because, like, it just seemed like they wanted me out of there. They haven't given me, apparently, like, the sign, there was a complaint on the sign. On Wednesday, there was a complaint on the sign. I went to the security. The security took photos, apparently. Then they cleared me at the end of Wednesday. So the security said, like, we clear you, you're allowed to stay. And then on Thursday, like, people were calling the security and the police, whatever, and then it went to the rights and obligations department, and I think they just wanted me in limbo, like to freeze the activity itself for political reasons. So apparently, like the complaint's still there, but they never got back to me, and it's been like 2 months. So you can see like what's going on, there was a complaint. You think like they would have figured out what's wrong with the sign in 2 months. Like it's not complex what's written on the sign. So to answer your question, I'm not going to go back there until because I filed a human rights complaint, and I'm not going to go back there until this goes to court, and if the court decides you're allowed to go back there, it's your right, and it's within my rights of the university because the university now they're trying to defend their actions with something called the policy on the temporary use of university space. So it just sounds like when I read that heading, I haven't read that art in the booklet yet. I'm going to read it, but their rights and obligations. They're telling me to go to rights and obligations, but rights and obligations booklet talks about free speech, the charter, and the right to peacefully protest, which I was doing. So it doesn't make sense that one policy says you're allowed to do something while another policy says you're not. Does that make sense to you? It's like you're allowed to stand here, but you're not allowed to stand here. You're allowed to use the bathroom, but you're not allowed to use the bathroom. It's like there must be some reasonable, when you're making policy, you can't have these contradictions because then it could be exploited. Exploited, and then there's a discrimination on how it's applied. Because there is discrimination on how it's applied. Even if the policies contradict themselves, like you can still make the argument that the way the security handled and applies those policies are discriminatory because they allow other people to stand there in hundreds, as you can see in one video, while they call the police on me when I was standing as one person. So like, does that even make sense to you? One person is peacefully protesting, they call the police, while 100 peacefully protest and they don't call the police. It doesn't make any sense. Like, whichever way they go at this and whichever way they attack it, like, I don't think there's any kind of like reasonable defense other than we call the police on you as retaliation because you wouldn't leave because it was political. I mean, that's just really what I'm saying.
Right. So this is the protest you're talking about. The walkout protest.
Yeah.
There's thousands of, looks like hundreds of people at least, with the Palestinian flag and causing a ruckus. Oh, maybe I can play this.
Yeah, it just seemed like, there's people gathering and
yeah.
They made it. There's a table there, so obviously it was, I guess you could say it was like maybe they got a permit with the school to do that because it was organized. But again, I mean, like, there's people with signs.
Chanting. Yeah.
So there's people with signs. They're not every person. I mean, it says clearly, like, where is it? I don't have. I mean, maybe I do have it here. Let me get this document out. There's quite a few stuff here.
And then Old Ray with the sign has the police called on him.
Yeah, I mean, the Code of Rights and Responsibilities. I printed out this booklet here.
Right.
It says clearly on page 16, under 16, number 43.43, says obstruction or disruption of teaching, research, administration, study, student disciplinary procedures, or other university activities. So you cannot obstruct or disrupt teaching, research, administration, study, student disciplinary procedures, or other university activity, notwithstanding the proceeding. So you can't obstruct or disrupt unless it follows this. Members are free to engage in peaceful and orderly protests, demonstrations, picketing that do not disrupt the function of the university, which I was doing. And it says, for example, picketing, which this was because you're holding a sign. But I wasn't even moving back and forth. I mean, picketing is like, holding a sign, moving back and forth. Picketing or other activity in a public space, so that was a public space, that does not impede access nor interfere with activities in a class meeting is an acceptable expression of dissent and shall not be considered an infraction of this article. So, I mean, like, what I was doing was considered peaceful protesting. Because, what this was really protesting, historical events that was my intention, was protesting historical events that the political science department does not teach in their curriculum, because I've taken a lot of political science classes, and some of these points or related points come up, but not these points, and I wanted to protest these points because I had given these points, I would print out documents of these points and the Wikipedia pages with the sources, and I would give it to teachers, and they would ignore it, and they might say, "Oh, I'll have a look at it, I'll read it, whatever." But they would never tell me how they feel about it. They would never correct themselves. They would, they just ignore it basically. So I was protesting all this, and that's basically it. And it says you're allowed to peacefully protest. It also says that all number 3, all members have freedom of conscience, freedom of thought, belief. It says freedom of peaceful assembly. So it even says here. Number 3, all members have the freedom of peaceful assembly and freedom of association to the limits recognized by the law. So there was nothing illegal I was doing there. So it says you have the right to, and it even says number 4, it says that this code is not to be applied in a way that detracts from the rights of members to engage in frank discussion of potentially controversial matters such as politics. So you're allowed to discuss controversial politics.
Are you reading from the handbook or the charter?
This is the handbook, the university's handbook, rights and responsibilities. So you actually see here. You can see it here.
Well, you think like a university basically is known for having open discussion and debate And
Yeah,
to
I mean,
see this happen at all places, a publicly funded
literally see a
university.
teacher calling the police on me and filming me for bringing up controversial politics. And it even says here, like, so I think this is really under discrimination. So if you look up discrimination, it says number 35 on page 15. It says discrimination means A, the treatment which has the effect or purpose of imposing burdens, barriers, obligations, disadvantages on a member. So obviously, like, when you're calling the police on someone, having them tell them, like, get the hell out of here, you're imposing, burdens and barriers, like, you're literally like a metaphysical or even a physical barrier, like, get out of here, close the door behind you, a barrier, obligations, like, I have to explain myself to the police, disadvantage, I can't, I'm not allowed to protest, but someone else is. So like, it's like word for word. And B, for which there is no bona fide or reasonable justification. So like, there was no justification because I'm asking him what's wrong with the sign, and they couldn't tell me. So like, it's like word for word. It goes even further. C, when such treatment is based on one of the prohibited grounds specified in the Quebec Charter of Human Rights and Freedoms. So they screwed up. They even mentioned the Quebec Charter of Human Rights and Freedoms, and it says such as race, color, or whatever, and political convictions. So I mean, this is word for word discrimination by their own booklet. I mean, nobody called me up and apologized. Nobody had a meeting with me. I had to, I bumped into the director of security, the tough guy there, sue me, and he was like so nice to me the other week after this whole thing, after the break. He's like, "Oh, how was your break? How was your family?" Shook my hand. I mean, I feel that they feel that the heat is going to come down when this goes to court, and maybe they tried firing a few people. I mean, I think I've a few of the guys. See, I don't want anybody to get fired. I mean, I know people have families to feed and stuff like that. I even told the guy, like I said, maybe training needs to be done, like training. I mean, understand your own rules at least, right? I mean, if you can't even enforce your own, if you're telling me to go see the Office of Rights and Responsibilities, and their own booklet says I'm allowed to stand there, then you guys are incompetent or biased or I don't know, something corrupt or I don't know, or even criminal, because if you're calling the police on somebody on something that's allowed by your own like policy, then you're obviously incompetent, But even says their own policy says here. It says another document. It says policy on campus public safety and security. It says it here. I mean, there are definitions to what an emergency, what an incident is. So, I mean, this thing you're seeing here, where I'm standing there, doesn't even qualify as an emergency or an incident by anything. I mean, it says an emergency is an urgent, sudden, serious event that could result in injury, medical emergency, damage to property, and needs immediate action to remedy harm and prevent like danger to life and property. I mean, this obviously wasn't even an emergency. I mean, you can't even call it an incident either, because just an incident is something that results in an injury, medical emergency, loss, theft, damage of property, something that breaks municipal, provincial, federal laws. So it obviously wasn't there. So why are you guys even coming near me? Like why are you guys even coming down? And then it says clearly here, it says that it says clearly here that it says that CSPS, the university's security, may only stop, question, or identify someone, violating the university's policy or engaging in illegal activity. And it says that it may call the police in assistance. So there has to be a policy infraction or illegal activity. So there's none of that there. It doesn't seem like it was there. I don't think you can justify this in any way. I mean, there might be something here in the use of space, which I'm going to have to read, because, I mean, how can one document say I'm allowed to stay there? How can one document say I'm allowed to stay there? Then another document not justify the response, and then tell me to go read this other document? It's like even if this document says I'm allowed to stay there, I mean, your own policies contradict each other. It's like how can a government, for instance, pass one law and then another? I mean, you can't criminalize a law. I know that. You can't take a law and then criminalize a law. That's you can't do that. I mean, if you say that you're allowed to peacefully protest, you can't flip it and say that you're not allowed to peacefully protest and you're going to jail for it. I mean, it's just how can that even apply? Maybe at a university, but it just seemed like the clear thing here is that there was an attempt to trespass me for political beliefs, which the charter says. Says that this is part of the civil code, fundamental freedoms. It says that where is it? You can highlight it here.
So obviously, the police. I believe the police were also accusing you of committing mischief and.
Yeah, the police said if you come back in here, with the sign, which doesn't make any sense. Well, here, where is it? 37. Where is it? It basically says, a person cannot be expelled from a public place for political reasons or grounds covered by the charter. So that's something the police did do, because this is a public space or a space that I had legitimate reason to be, as I was a student there. They didn't even ask if I was a student, so it just makes them more incompetent. It says, where's it? Here, no number 11 of the Charter of Human Rights and Freedoms of Quebec. 11. No one may distribute. No, where's it? Where is it? Every person has the right to full. Where is it? No one. Here, number 15. No one may, through discrimination, inhibit the access of another to public transportation or a public place. So that place, such as or such as a public space, and such as a commercial establishment, hotel, theater, cinema, camping, or whatever, or his obtaining goods, services there. No one may, through discrimination, inhibit the access. So discrimination is basically defined as every person has a full right and equal recognition and exercise of human rights and freedoms recognized, such as political conviction. So discrimination covers political beliefs. So you cannot, So to answer your question, the police, go back to what you're saying. The police said if you come back in here with the sign exposed, so that's the key part, the sign exposed, not even protesting, not even holding this, but just simply, carrying this, like this, just carrying it like this. If you come back into school with it exposed, you will, we will charge you with mischief, which, I have the criminal code here. I've been trying to read this, but it's complicated how it's like worded. So I'm meaning to find out what mischief is. But when you Google the criminal code, because a lot of this is online, mischief is defined by like rendering property unusable, breaking the elevators, vandalizing things, breaking glass, blocking somebody from basically like. It's a physical act. It's like, it's a physical act, rendering a place unusable to somebody. Some people might say, you're holding the sign there and you're causing mischief, because the sign there is making the place, that's what they're trying to go on. The sign there is making the place, unusable, but it's a physical act, because this is covered. So there you go. That's another thing. You cannot take, freedom of expression and then flip it and say that it's mischief. You can't criminalize something that's already allowed, and that's the biggest argument. You see this a lot in the U.S. where people are suing on that. You can't take something that's allowed, freedom of expression, political beliefs, and then say it's mischief. So it's allowed. That's it. End of story. It can't conflict. Obviously, if this was like harassment or something, I'd say like, Jessica is in this room and she deserves to be raped and she's in this room. But I said something like crazy like that would be mischief because it breaks other laws, And then they said that you're also causing a disturbance, which didn't make any sense. They're like, people are gathering around you. But again, if people are gathering around you, you have the right to peaceful assembly. Like the university's policy say that, and the charter says that. Peacefully assemble, like within the law, the limits of the law. Obviously not in a restricted area. Not on private property. So yeah, they really screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
As for going back there, I actually found a place where I'm allowed. That's in the university's. That's in the university's grounds. I should post this video up. Basically, it's the here. It's before the turnstiles in the metro because the university has a metro right below it. So I was there with the sign, and I guess my energy or whatever just attracted other people. And it's literally here. I'll just show this to you. Put this over here. So you see. So it's funny because the property line. Try to focus in. The property line is like. Just use a pen instead. The property line is literally. Try to reverse this. The property line is like right there on the ground. It's like right. See where the guy's foot is? It's right there. It literally is there. It's like where the tile split. Right where that guy's foot is. Like you see this. You see the poster right behind the guy with the guy with not the yellow shirt, but the guy with the black jacket. Right behind his sign on the ground. Literally, there's a guy there. Like here. I'm just trying to do this in reverse. It's all reversed on the screen, so my brain is having problems following this. It's a long day. So like right here is the line. So it's funny. We're here.
Is this on your YouTube channel?
I will post it here.
Okay.
And you see the security guys? They see me there. They don't like it. They just have to watch. And there are hundreds of people coming in. He knows genocide Gaza.
Oh, and okay, it's to the next one.
Yeah, so right below.
Have you ever been like physically threatened or anything like that?
No, people were very. They called the police though. The police came down. I should have filmed it. See, people are getting flyers. People are very nice about it. See, no genocide in Gaza. I was told the property line is that. That's the property line. I'm holding my sign. The police come and they let it happen. No genocide in Gaza. Food and water and medicine in Gaza.
So there's a guy who says there's no genocide in Gaza?
No,
Is he a counter protester or what?
He's actually a Jewish protester for Palestine, and he basically saying let food and medicine and water into Gaza, and he's handing out flyers. And it's funny because I showed up there, and these guys suddenly showed up there too. I mean, I don't know what was going on, but I think it was just by faith or chance, which was amazing. And they had like a quota of flyers they're handing out. It's pretty good. Like, and the police came because I guess someone called. See the right behind that booth, the property line is there too. It's like a rectangle. It's all around the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
I have a body camera on, and people are looking at the sign. They don't really see the camera. So people are seeing the sign, and they're not saying anything. They like it. They like it. And after they hate it because they called the police, and the police came. And I'll tell you, like, there was hundreds of people coming in. It's non-stop. People see the sign. There's another clip here, too. Where is it?
Giving us a sneak peek.
Non-stop, see?
Yeah.
He's handing out flyers. He's got the Palestine flag there.
Yeah.
Right at the border. Okay. And the security really hates it. Stop the genocide. You see that? So
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting. The property line is right, like it's right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see the tiles, they change, like they change up, going up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, property line is right. Someone told me this. So the property line is like right here. Oops. Let me just point it out. Property line is right, like here. Like where the tiles change in the back, like up here. So basically, that's my favorite place now. I'll be there protesting whenever I can. And again, I mean, they called the police, and the police came and they looked at the sign, and they basically walked away. They're just like, yeah, this is not worth our time. Like, what's going on? Nothing's going on. They came in like riot gear too. They came like with special like yellow, you know, like shields and different divisions and stuff. And 8 of them came and they looked at my sign and they were just like what's going on? And they just left. So obviously someone called the police, and I saw a lot of the same people, who was part of a crowd that didn't like my sign there on the November 30th, and it definitely seemed like they were instigating it. So, like I said, I'm not going to go back to that same place in the university until actually the Human Rights Commission says I'm allowed. If a judge says it, the Human Rights Commission says I'm allowed, then I'll ask them to send an arbiter or something, like someone to accompany me, and we'll see what happens, because this is a clear case of political discrimination. And I mean, the director of security even said, he was asking me how can we, I mean, obviously, I mean, he's asking me. It's like someone punched you in the face and it comes to you and said how can we, resolve this? It's like maybe if you actually acknowledge your own guilt, that could be a start. Maybe if you just acknowledge that. He was like, I called the police on you, sue me. I'm like, okay, what do you want me to tell you? I mean, anyways, it is what it is. I mean, it's going to go where it needs to go. I mean, I think a precedent needs to be set. This needs to make the media when it actually goes to court. I've contacted a few media agencies. I think this is a little too spicy for most media. I haven't gone too full out on it because I'm so busy with schoolwork and
Yeah.
I hope it just
no media has taken this up.
No media has taken this up as of now. I've given this to the university's paper, one of the university's paper. I'm gonna have to push further, but I mean, I'm just so busy with classes that I really don't have time for interviews and stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
But I will send it out by email. I mean, I've only approached a handful of media, CBC, CTV, stuff like that, global news. But maybe some smaller groups might take it up. And because this is clear discrimination, but I think it's better to contact the media when a judge is actually nice place.
I just renovated while you were talking. Look what I did.
It's the power of discipline there, mind over matter. Who knows what can happen in such a short amount of time?
You like this? You like this, Ray? I've been kind of, while you were talking, I was screen sharing, and then I posted banners and renovated my place. Man, this is like a professional CNN. This is what CNN would do. A pundit would talk, and then they would show a video, and then I have breaking news or whatever.
Let me see if I can.
Here on the banner, and yeah, I love this, man. It's shit. I should stream more, man.
Flush up my appearance.
I gotta practice my news, whatever.
It's really interesting. I can put a filter on.
Yeah.
Appearance is like a filter.
Yeah.
It makes me look more moderate. We'll touch on my appearance. Virtual background. Okay.
Yeah.
Heads up, the green features, uses a bit more computer resources. I got a good computer, so let's go for it, try it out. Yeah, let's see what
Yeah. There you go.
Go, same place.
Yeah.
Cookie cutter houses. Everybody's complaining about cookie cutter houses. This is what
Yeah.
they're talking. This is what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cookie cutter
Pretty cool.
houses. We're in the same condo building. That's what this is. Let's see if what other. Oh, I could put this in high definition too.
There's one person watching right now.
Okay. Virtual background.
Maybe I'll
Okay, it's fine. None.
post
Okay,
this.
this is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully this goes to court, and the parties responsible for violating my rights. Gets what's I mean, the charter clearly says in the charter number 46. It says what does it say? It says where's number 47? It says every person. Well, no. Is it 48? It says any unlawful interference with any right or freedom recognized by this charter entitles the victim to obtain the cessation of such interference. So it has to cease. Who knows? Maybe next time I'll have to call the cops myself. Cease of such interference and compensation for moral and material prejudice resulting in thereafter and therefrom. So, I mean, the charter itself says, compensation is needed, is to be, remedy, to be used as remedy. So that's what's this you got on the screen there?
I don't know. It was on my files. I'm just trying to remember. It's probably some. I think it might have been about COVID or something like that. And
Okay,
was it on Facebook? Fuck, I was still arguing on Facebook. Anyway, it was just some person trying to say some
background. Let me see if I can get a background. I just got this computer. Maybe I got some pictures in the downloads. I got some car photos. Let's see if.
I don't even remember, man. That's a long time ago. That was 2020. I don't know.
Let's see if this works. Oh, okay. Interesting. I can put a background like a car. I don't do this too much, so this is all.
It's all.
That's my car in the background of my garage.
Oh, nice.
That's my car.
That's cool.
What else can I put in here? Upload. Delete this. Okay, interesting. Here. Since you had, it says, okay, so this is my, this is in front of my place. That's my car.
Yeah. That's cool.
Living the life in the future. Yeah, maybe if I get a nice payout. this is.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing it for the money. It is very possible that I can. I was looking. They're saying every charter violation is like $20K, and if it's done egregiously, it's another $20K, and if it's multiple charter violations, like free disposition of property because they seem to have a problem with the sign, the property of the sign. So, if the problem was the sign, then they have a problem with the property itself. So I think it's one violation just on the sign alone. They're saying like the sign has to be covered, it has to be out of here. The security's like, I'm going to grab this sign and throw it outside. It has to be out of here. You can stay here, but not the sign. So the problem is the property. And then when you tie the property in with me, they're discriminating against me because I'm holding property with political beliefs. So it's at least two violations right there: political beliefs and the problem with the property. Because it clearly says in the charter. It's funny they include this stuff too. It's like it says where's it? It says number 6, every person has a right to the peaceful enjoyment and free disposition of his property, except to the extent of the law, except to the extent provided by the law. So you have the right to enjoy the disposition and movement of your property. It's clear as it is. It's actually very clear, like what it's saying here.
Well,
We'll see what happens. Like,
yeah. What about unlawful search and seizure too? Because they took your sign.
yeah, it's like that's another thing too. I mean, like,
You can also for people in the audience, you can also check that out as well too. He has that on his YouTube channel as well of the police taking his sign and putting it in the back of the cop car.
well, it's just another thing. Number 8, no one may enter upon the property of another or take anything therefrom without his express or implied consent. So, I mean, like the fact that he took the sign without my consent is another thing too. It also says, like you were saying, where's it says every person has a right to. Where's it? Well,
Have you had any issues with the police at all? Have they harassed you since?
Well, another thing with the charter says that when you file a report, you cannot be retaliated on for filing a report. So far, no one's retaliated on me. They've been pretty. I'll say that.
Okay.
It says, where is it? As for the police, I did make a complaint with the Quebec Police Ethics Commission. So that's going to make a splash itself.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's definitely going to make a splash. And so it's possible that the police may, this is like a separate case with the police and the security. So this because there's 2 parties involved, the security, the university, and the police. So this could be a pretty serious case because you got one person with a sign, and you have the police and the security ganging up on me. So it's like a conspiracy in some ways. But obviously, the conspiracy started with the teachers.
A conspiracy is usually 2 or more persons inhibiting the right. Especially, it could be aggravated assault too, possibly.
Well, that's it.
Have weapons as well, right?
Well, yeah, that is possible. And then number 24.1 says, no one may be subjected to unreasonable search and seizure. So, there's a security like, give me your student card.
Did they touch you in any way, like the police?
The security did grab my sign. They grabbed it like this. But
yeah.
He grabbed the sign in front of me because he wanted me to grab his arm.
Yeah.
Just as I grabbed his arm like it's assault. So they were trying everything possible. Let me get my wall and show you.
Yeah, if the police touched you in any way or if they dragged you out, it's aggravated assault.
And what's also interesting is that there's clear contradictions with something else with universities, that the university's own identification card.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they asked me for my card, but they never gave me a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
The campus there, so this is like my card. I mean, it looks like this.
Oh.
There is a card, but it says behind the card. It says this card is property of Coelho University and is non-transferable and is subject to revocation for violation of university regulations, and it says the card must be presented or returned to authorized university personnel upon request. So that itself is kind of a violation of the charter because it's saying like you must present the card upon request, but that request, the request could be unreasonable. So, and it also says in their own policy, like I just read, that for them to ask you for ID or talk to you, or you must commit a crime, do something illegal, or break a policy. So it doesn't make any sense, actually, when you think about it. I don't know. It's very possible they may have transferred. Like one of the security guards that were like main, like a very, very involved. They may I haven't seen him since like early January, so it's possible they may have. Unfortunately, I mean, I didn't want anybody to get fired. I mean, I just wanted them to get trained properly and really like, I mean, whatever the judge says in regards to the charter. I mean, if it means a fine, whatever explanation, whatever else, acknowledgement. But I mean, nobody really did anything. I mean, should they get fired? I mean, that's not me to decide. I guess that's the university to decide. But
Disciplined at least. Yeah,
you can
disciplined.
always train them because I don't want to. I'm not out here trying to get ruin people's lives and whatever. I'm just trying to exercise my rights and maybe there just needs to be better training. That's what it really what it is. Nobody actually like hurt me or whatever. The police too. I mean, but the police is more like better training and whatever the charter says. I mean, the charter says the violation has to stop when it's identified and there's compensation. So I mean, that's not me saying. That's what the charter's saying. And it's funny because two of the security guards are actually featured in this. This is like a newspaper that's very. I mean, it's not me saying that. It's very Jewish like oriented.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing like this article.
It's like a Jewish publisher, and what's it called?
It's called The Suburban. And it's like Joel Goldberg, Joel Siasu, Barry Wasman, editor Joel Goldberg. I mean, it's you have a lot of Jews that write for this. I mean, it's not a Jewish paper, but a lot of what do you call it? It seems like a lot of its readers are Jewish too. I mean, like it's like you can see here, like Montreal's number one kosher grocer. So I mean, it seems to be it's mainly in English. It's also English speaking. We call it newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
But here, this is something else. It's funny because like you see the security guards here, as you can see. Like I don't know if this is even true. It says that calls for genocide of Jews violate our codes, but I mean, I don't think that even exists. But I don't know.
Calls.
But this is actually the security guards. This is at Concordia. These are the two security guards.
Oh.
You see, that's the director of security.
Yeah.
Mr. Tough Guy, sue me, whatever. And there's the other guy there who said that he's like, oh, your sign hurts people's feelings. And then, this is like apparently a scuffle that happened at one of the tables. You had this Jewish group at a table, and what's that? I don't know. There was like pro-Palestinian groups and the Israeli groups like got into like a scuffle and whatever. And I think someone was punched or something. So I don't know. I mean, they were kind of saying to me like, oh, because this was going on, we have to take precautions with you. But I mean, what are you talking about? It's like the thing says you're allowed to peacefully protest. I'm peaceful. Like that was just one of the things I remember someone saying to me. They're like, oh, you remember, one of the security guys got punched or something. Like, our guys got punched. It's like, what are you even talking about? But because I wasn't even there when it happened. It's funny because I was outside when it happened. I wanted to go there with my sign. I had a sign ready, and but no, I wasn't involved with that. And they're just throwing everything. But it's funny because this newspaper article is saying that these calls violates the codes. The university saying that. I don't even know if that's true or not, but the university is saying Concordia and McGill calls for genocide, violence, and of course, it violates the code. I mean, that is true. That's pretty crazy. I mean, I don't support that, and I don't remember hearing anybody call for genocide. So maybe this is just like a hit piece or something, But what was I going to say? It just seems like. I mean, that violates their codes. I mean, obviously, what they did to me must be a violation of their code as well. I mean, you can't just arbitrarily. It's like because now the security is saying they're not talking about my sign anymore. The security is saying that the reason we called the police on you was because we asked you to leave, but you wouldn't leave. But that doesn't make any sense either. And same with the police. The police is like, you have to leave because you're asked to leave. But it doesn't make any sense. Like the question is obviously why. and then when you break that down, it's rooted in the sign, and that's political discrimination, whatever. So whichever way you cut it, like it doesn't make any sense. It's gonna have to it's gonna be determined that there was injustice there, or we call discrimination and bias there.
Perfect. Well, we're going on to 2 hours. I don't want to make it too long, but I think that's a good length.
Does anybody have any questions? How many people watching?
There was a couple people watching, kind of in and out. Really good information. I was like screen sharing while you were talking and had some graphics on there, and so I think it was a good show. And I think, like I said, my viewers are kind of like, they come in later on, like they don't jump on right away. I don't know, because it's a new YouTube channel, so I'll probably get like, oh, maybe I'll just be like my highest viewer count. Probably, maybe I'll get like 50 or 60 or whatever. But
I don't know.
I'm not quite sure. But
I don't know if I'm able to go between the screens, but it's pretty interesting. That video I put up there, it's got like.
Your shorts. That's the thing with those shorts. Like sometimes they will like explode. I've gotten tweets sometimes that explode just out of nowhere, and then
What short got like? Yeah. I'm pretty surprised. I'm pretty surprised, to be honest. Like
you beat the algorithm, that one. Well, that's the thing though. Is just like people will see your video, but they won't necessarily subscribe. Like when you're going through all these platforms or whatever, like YouTube, Twitter. Like people, well, actually, Twitter sometimes they follow you, but
that is crazy.
YouTube is really bad because it's just they'll see your video and then like they won't subscribe or whatever.
Well, I said
you have to keep generating content and and then
when people see police, like they're like, it's that one clip there where the cops are behind, he's got the Blue Lives Matter thing on. That's crazy. Like,
that's another thing too. There was a video on there. There was people criticizing the cops for having a Blue Lives Matter, and they chanting, "Who do you protect? Who do you protect?" Yeah. Did you want to screen share?
Can I screen share? Let me see this.
Yes, you can.
How do you do this?
Go to present.
No, present. Oh, share screen. Don't show these things. Okay, share screen.
If I have to let you, or hang on. Maybe it has to be on my end. Can you do it on your end?
Can you see it?
Or do I need to let you? Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Just go back. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like this one's got 12,000 views. It's only been up for like what was this up? Let's see, 133 likes, 36 comments, quite a few comments here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see the description. Yeah, under no, I think you were able to see how many views. Where did I see it? There was a way to see it. Description here.
Are you confiscating free speech?
Yeah, it's funny because like later on, you can see me talk too, right? You can see me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. What's interesting about all this is that people later on, it took me some time to get some of this video footage. I'd go to the protest, I would decide, and I'd meet people at the protest, and you're like, yeah, what's that? You're the guy with the sign. I saw you getting arrested. With the police and all that. That's all it is. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, good. You have the footage, and they gave me the footage. Wireless phone to phone, and amazing technology today. And I was able to compile this stuff, and it's just really crazy that here. Let me go back. Streamer. Which page was it streaming?
Oh, there we go.
14 minutes. See, it just posted a day ago, and already at 3.3. I mean, this main one got a lot of views. The 12K. So that's not bad, It's more than my video's been up for a year with the fluoride fundraiser. Surprised it's already been a year. Time flies, eh?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. 3.5K views in a day. That's more than anything, But that's it. I mean, you can see here, there's people in there. There's people in the same area. I was standing over here, and there's people in the same area. I was right here, and there's nobody else. It's not like I was standing there while there was other people there, And as you can see, the area is a public thoroughfare. I mean, you've got this main street in the front. You got all these entrances. The police that come later, apparently. See, over here, there's an elevator that goes down into the metro. There's the main street there. So they really did like me standing, because I was standing right here, and I faced all that. I faced all the people coming in here. There's one entrance here. There's like I said, there's an entrance here coming in. And you got 4 doors here, and then you have the elevator coming up from the metro downstairs, and then you have another 4 doors over here. People coming in from the back, so it's a big building. So
yeah.
I was gonna say, you got people with flags. That the flag is a sign. So what was it saying? It's I think there was a clear violation there. Let me see if my tag did arrive. So did it arrive? Let's see this. Yeah, it did arrive. Yeah, there it is. There it is. It just arrived. Okay, that's good. Yeah, this is a student complaint. I mean, if you want to give a copy of it, I could put it in the chat. No, actually.
Yeah.
If people want to see it. Where is it? Where can I find a copy? Posted on Facebook, actually. Facebook. Yeah, this is.
You still on Facebook?
Yeah, that's my Facebook here. Put that in the chat. Ralston927. But yeah, the link to the document is right here. It's Google Drive.
Oh, is this your
How do you copy that? Share.
Oh yeah.
Copy. Oh, copy.
That's the one you sent me, eh?
Yeah, I got it modified to include more. Where are you? In the chat, I got it modified to include the new videos. So that's if anybody wants to read that, it's an interesting read. Where is it? Yeah, it's got the let's open this up. It's got full screen. You press F11. So it's got introduction to myself, and I sent it to the Student Advocacy Center, which is internal student group, internal what do you call it? Office that deals with student problems. It's like they can't really all they could do is help you understand it more. I mean, I don't know if a settlement could be achieved through them. Definitely some kind of remedy in terms of training of these whatever. Police deontology, the Police Ethics Commission, the Human Rights Commission, which is the Quebec branch, which is the Commission of Persons' Rights and Rights of Youth, the Canadian Civil Liberties Association. I mean, those guys are so busy with stuff. I don't think I'll even get a response from them. Red Coalition, which is like a anti-racist like lobbying group, but they specialize more with police. I don't think I'll get a response from them because this spicy nature of this political spicy nature of this. And then also I also have to do like a media blitz where I send out like this document to like a lot of media.
Yeah, you haven't gotten any articles from Anti-Hate Canada yet, eh?
I don't see why they would, because
Yeah.
maybe you say that sarcastically, but yeah, I mean,
has their funding actually been cut? Do you know? I wonder
honestly,
if
I can't really like speak. They can speak for themselves. I
don't know if it's public knowledge or not, but
yeah, I don't want to really.
It doesn't seem like they're as active. I don't know.
I mean, I still get emails from them on certain things that happen. I mean, their focus is like.
You subscribe to their newsletter or what?
No, I think they subscribe me to the newsletter.
Really? Oh shit.
Yeah, it's they that they have an article on me, and I consider it slander.
Basically, like,
leave that alone. Whatever. I mean,
yeah, they're like a political operative for the Liberal government against
yes,
any.
some people are alleging, but I mean,
yeah.
Look, they can speak for themselves. I'm not here to, attack anybody. I mean, they can speak for themselves. That's it. Yeah, so this is pretty simple. I mean, it just goes through, different things that were violated. My what do you call it? My account of it. Political rights, political convictions were breached. Fundamental rights, political freedom of opinion expression, peaceful assembly. Yeah, it goes through it. I mean, the location of it and the parameters of that, and what do you call it? All that stuff, and the sign itself. The fact that I had class on that day had a legitimate reason to be in a school. Mm-hmm. The sign. I'm gonna actually put it on the tripod in the metro. That's what I'll do next time. And they can't do anything because it's up to the metro to decide. I mean, like, as long as you're not blocking a turnstile or the booth or whatever.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be a problem. It's a very tight space, but I'm thinking about going to another metro station. It's called Place Bonaventure. It's a huge over here. Place. Someone's telling me this. Place. This is what I'm going to be next. Place Bonaventure. This is Metro Terminus. No, Terminal. Yeah, this is where it's at. This is this is where I'll be at next. This is a big ass terminal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is a place, the hotel in it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one. So you can. So this is after the gates. So I'm not sure how they'll feel with me being here. But this is before the gate, so I could be up there. Yeah, it's a big one.
Has there been an increase of Muslim immigration in toward like moving into Montreal? I guess there's always been a Muslim population in Montreal, but have you noticed like an increase lately at all, or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about increase or decrease. I mean, it's like so you're allowed to be here. This is before the gates.
Yeah.
So you can stand here.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand, not on a bridge because it's like it narrows, but you can stand like over here on the side here. That's what they mean. Like you can this is a new one, eh? This is the REM 2. This is the new train they built. Nice modern station. So
what side of Montreal is that on?
I just typed in Place Bonaventure Terminal in Google. So this is the REM station. This is the new station they built. This is a very nice one, actually. So you can stand up here. I can stand up here with the sign. I wonder if I can dangle.
Is that downtown?
This is downtown Montreal.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just typing in like.
Are they just renovated, or are they just that's like a new station?
This is an old station that's part of Bonaventure Metro.
Okay.
Yeah, it meets the train station, like the actual trains merge in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so up here is like this is before the gates.
Oh yeah, I've been there before.
Yeah, so this is
It has like those shops or whatever.
There are shops in there as well.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
I have, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the main. This is the main like. There's a hotel here which is pretty cool, and I guess anybody coming to Montreal for business would like stay here, and there's the shops down here and stuff, and there's this is the Ren. This is somewhere else. So I guess I'll stand there too. Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah.
You can do a tour with a sign. But as for, I mean, I go to university, so I mean, like, there's all kinds of people. I mean, so Central Station. Okay, the REM goes in there too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I'll come back with a spicier sign. I guess the sign can say. Let's finish this article. Yeah, this is a pretty good read if you want to read it. I mean, it obviously scared the what do you call it, the director of security enough to say, he's like, oh, I know, he was very nice to me. I mean, like it obviously scared him because of that. Let me stop the screen sharing. Yeah, so it's a strong document. But what was I going to say? Increase. I mean, like I go to a university. It's a lot of international students there. I may actually see a decrease in international students because like the province is like just they really don't like English, so they're trying to get as little like English students at the two major universities here that are English, which is Concordia and McGill. So they've actually doubled the tuition for international students in Quebec. I guess in an attempt because most international students aren't going to French universities; they're going to English universities. So the tuition is.
Well, that's the thing is they're like when you go into Quebec, everything is French and then English second.
That's it. But there's I guess
it's more of a distant second now.
there's this vendetta by the province to really make it hard because they want to kill the English schools, like whether it's colleges or high schools they're working on. A lot of English high schools have turned into French high schools.
Do you think there'll be Quebec separatism?
Do I believe in Quebec separatism? I think my views on nationalism in Canada has changed in some ways. I think Canada's like you can't like unless you're biased and you've got blinders on, you can't really say like the vision of Canada should be European. I think it should be. It's crazy. Some people don't like it when I say this, but I think it should be like Blade Runner, where you have China and India, and if Germany is like a crazy industrial powerhouse, then they can have their companies come here too, and it's just an economic zone, and you have your rights in the charter, and you have. When we talk about like the white community, the French community, these aren't physical things. These are like when I say I'm part of a community, it's not like the community's here. There's no like borders. I think it's an abstract concept. It's like it's a metaphysical concept. Like it's not like the German community in Germany or the Italian, and so where was it going with that? I think there's plenty of places for communities to be their communities, but I think like major hubs like Toronto, Montreal should be places where you have economic activity, and that's the only way you can have like influx coming in there for jobs and stuff. But where was it going with that? As for I don't think Quebec should be a separatist place representing like specifically like French European interests. It should be like I mean, what happens to the natives? You know, like you know what I mean? Like it's kind of tough, and also like there is like if you want to even look at the rest of Canada, there is also like English Canada and Quebec. If you look at like the Montreal flag, there's Scottish, Irish, English, French. Native too. They have the native emblem in there. So why should it just be French? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't think it. I mean, who should really decide? It's like, should the natives decide? Should it's? I don't know. I mean, it's just. I just think it's like. In some ways, it's almost on par like Israel or like, or like South Africa in some sense, because like, like the Justin Trudeau has called for a ceasefire and stuff for Israel, but Quebec's premier hasn't. It's actually very funny. There's like he's ready for Israel, so screw that guy, and he's like a separatist.
That guy is like
he's like a.
He has great ties to like the World Economic Forum too.
Yeah, exactly. He was like a stooge during COVID. We can talk about COVID. COVID was a scam, and this guy was.
Wrong.
No, not here.
Careful.
Okay, sorry about that. But
COVID was a virus, and we recognize it as a virus as such. You too.
Yeah, it was irresponsible for not wearing.
We recommend that you look up the
recommend getting vaccinated.
Credited sources on COVID. Thank you very much.
No, but he's a real scumbag.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like, it reflects population. So, I mean, like, if the majority of Quebecers are French-speaking, European, Quebecers, then, like, democracy will reflect that, and it reflects back. But it is changing, and they're trying to change things in an unfair way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, you happen to be from Ontario studying in Quebec. Why should your tuition be twice as much? Doesn't make any sense. If you're from the United States studying here, I mean, why should be twice? I mean, you're already paying twice. Like like tuition for non-residents, non-provincial residents, already twice as much as residents. They doubled that. So someone from Ontario is paying 4 times the amount I'm paying. So like, it's pretty crazy. They just want you to stay in Ontario because it would actually just be 4 times as much there anyways. He's like,
well. Yeah, that's another thing too, is that they what was I going to say? Is that they're really dependent upon the federal government for funding.
Yeah, that's another thing.
The provincial government likes to say, "Oh, we balanced our budget," but they got actually the most federal money out of all the provinces. And the rest of Canada views Quebec as like, well, they can separate, but they don't really have an industry. So what are they going to do for industry, right? And so it's just kind of this weird snowman.
We had this hypothetical debate in class. I think, like, I mean, you have countries in Europe that are like not even the size of Quebec. I mean, Quebec is like half the size of Europe. Probably, I think. Let's look at a map. Present.
It might be Europe, actually.
Is Quebec the size of Europe?
It's long, man.
Yeah, Quebec is a big place, so I mean, Quebec map. Let's look at it like this. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much like untapped resources. Like, it's huge. Look at this. I mean, like, really when we talk about, like, Quebec, it's really like just this. It's like not even up here. That's crazy. Like, this is considered up north. This is considered up north. For most people living in Montreal, this is up north. But like you're not talking about this. Look at it. This is up north. But what about up? No, I mean, you know what I mean. Like,
are you trying to screen share right now, or?
Yeah. Am I screen sharing?
No. There we go.
Okay, yeah. So, like, this is up. Like, I live, like, over here.
Yeah.
And this is considered up north. Like, this. But look how, like, look at.
Oh, fuck. That's nothing.
Yeah, that's nothing. This is up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like 8 hours by plane, I think, or something.
8 hours by plane.
No, is it 8 hours by plane? I'm not sure. Like from here to here. No, that's not 8 hours.
I don't know. That's well,
I think
maybe
that's
like
4 hours.
4.
Yeah. Yeah, so most people consider Montreal up north. I mean, it's got ski resorts and I mean, as you can see here,
Yeah.
ski resorts and where is it? The slopes up here. Oh, that's where's the slopes? Yeah, there's just the slopes up here. So yeah, you get a mountain, 3D. You do 3D. Yeah, you got the slopes up here. I mean, it's pretty nice, and that's not even up north. I mean, like this is it. And what about like up here? I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's just like
nothing.
it's massive. It's just untapped resources, and so I think.
Well, you
I
have
think,
Newfoundland and Labrador way up there too.
yeah, I think if Quebec became its own country, I mean, there's a lot of like if they nationalize all the resources and like actually have programs to get people to leave, like
Yeah.
I don't want to get too controversial, but like you saw in like 1930s Germany where they had programs like economic programs where they gave people like, okay, we'll give you a plot of land here to farm, and you gotta give back. We'll give you this plot of land for free. I don't know. We'll give you this plot here, and you can grow some. I don't know. Some salmon in this lake. And
Maybe they can trade with America.
yeah, I mean it's got there's so much Shibu Gamu.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where it is. I saw this documentary drama about a girl that was got an abortion from. It was like she was challenging abortion in court in the 80s in Quebec, and she was from here. Oh, they even got a McDonald's there. It's like in the middle of nowhere. They're building. You got some. Let's see how this looks like. They don't have a street view.
Were the cops speaking French to you while you were there?
They spoke English to me. What, over here on the on campus there? The incident.
Yeah, on campus.
They spoke to me in English, and then like they spoke to me in English, and what do you call it? They told me that there might be a language barrier, so they suggested French, and I was talking to them in French. But yeah, I mean, there's I mean, it's Shibuka Mu. I mean, this is in the middle. Jesus Christ, look at this. It's like there's people up there. I mean, it would be interesting to just drive up there and see how things are. I mean, I do want to do a road trip. Okay, wow. So you gotta. The furthest north I've been was over here, but I want to do the drive up here. Okay,
And the part you live in is kind of like the Anglo area of Montreal.
Yeah, so the Anglo area is like this. I'm sure if you type it in,
yeah,
it will give you West Island.
It's weird when I explain things of like Anglo and Francophone to like people who are not from Canada. They get like fucking confused.
Well, I mean,
They're like, "What are you talking about? What's going on?"
it depends where you are. I mean, like
yeah.
this municipality.
Yeah.
It's like this is a municipality. Like, this is where I live. That's its own. It's on the island.
Because Montreal is an island, right?
Yeah, it's the mega city of Montreal. So if you type in Montreal, city, it's not the entire island. So Montreal City. See, as you can see, it's like you see it here. It's like it's highlighted.
Yeah.
So I live on the island of Montreal, but it's not part of the, And there's also things in here that are not like Westmount is very anglophone. It's not part of Montreal. Côte Saint Luc is very. These ones are not. Yeah. Montreal West, Mount Royal, town of Mount Royal, and then just the West Island where I live. Like, well, I mean, this is Pierrefonds, part of West Island, part of Montreal, but the West Island is like half of this. It's like Dorval, I mean,
yeah.
It really depends. I mean, you might find anglophones all scattered, but they're kind of concentrated in certain areas. Like they're
Yeah.
concentrated here. I mean, like Hudson. This is a very anglophone, like a very very anglophone area.
Yeah.
Just a very rich suburb like west. Saint Lazare too. Very like anglophone. But it's
What
funny.
part of Montreal is Maxime Bernier from?
I think he's somewhere in the city. I mean, let me
City.
see where he's from. That's interesting. Maxime Bernier. What part is he from? Is he from Boucherville? I don't think he's from Montreal. He's from St. George. So
Oh, okay.
St. George. Where's that?
Where's that?
Should say somewhere. St. George. Residence, St. George. He studied in Montreal though.
Yeah.
Studied at UQAM. So he studied here. It's pretty interesting. Let's see where St. George is. Oh, St. George. Okay, that's interesting. St. George of Beauce. That's very interesting. That's the only place outside of Montreal that fluoridates. Open the map. Is this
Oh,
St.
shit.
George? Is this the St. George I'm thinking about?
Oh, that's right, because
It
the city of
is.
Quebec.
That is
Lord, not
crazy.
the city of
That is
Quebec.
the only other place outside of Point Claire. There's only 3 water plants that fluoridate.
Yeah.
One in Point Claire where I live.
Yeah.
It's like over here.
Yeah.
Where's that water plant? Water plant is over here. The water plant in question. The water treatment plant in question. So
Have you gotten any word yet on the cases south of the border?
Oh, in terms of the fluoride court. I mean, you can just type that in, fluoride court. There's for sure fluoride lawsuit. Let's see news. Let's see if there's anything in the news. Tools recent past month. That's pretty good. Last one. Doctors voice concern to Buffalo Common Council over lack of fluoride. Over the lack of fluoride. So people are complaining about it. But here,
People are complaining.
arsenic.
Complaining.
Yeah.
Quotations.
Arsenic, fluoride in groundwater. No, toxic arsenic and fluoride contamination in. This is a. There isn't that much news actually. Actually, NTP court. Geez, there isn't that much. It's really blocked. NTP court fluoride lawsuit. I mean, this is really it.
Mm-hmm.
Fluoride. What's happening right now? Fluoride neurotoxicity. You get all these like clear like articles by Harvard and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean the trial's happening right now. I'm just wondering if that's surprising. Fluoride.
Did you want to share your the media video of you with the fluoride?
Yeah, it's here fluoride. Yeah, Ray Coelho fluoride. It's pretty interesting. It's the first thing you get here. Not bad. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't taken it down. I don't see a reason why they would take it down. That's in St. George. That is pretty cool. He's out in St. George. But yeah, Quebec is. I mean, this is really Quebec. Quebec can definitely be its own province. I mean, I don't know how nasty this water is. I don't know if it actually just changes color like that. But yeah, St. Lawrence is pretty. Like most whales stop here. It's rare to see like there are actually great white sharks and belugas and humpback whales that come in here. They come as far as Malbay, but and sometimes you may see them here, but it's rare. But I mean, if you're seeing them come Quebec City isn't that polluted. It's polluted, But I mean, like anything there was a humpback whale that actually made it here. Like it actually made it somewhere here in the St. Lawrence off of Montreal. But then
Oh,
it
really?
suddenly died. Where is it? There was
Did
see if I
did
can
it
get
just die or what?
it just died. I think it was pollution
No,
from
you
that
can't
whale,
save it.
Montreal. It just like
Free will.
let me see what it says here. It says
They didn't put it in the zoo.
no, I just Montreal humpback whale menage.
Man, they have a nice zoo there. Their zoo, I love their zoo.
Yeah, there's eco centers here. Visiting humpback
That's
whale
right.
dies in St. Lawrence. Look at this thing. It's just like bloated, just floating. It's horrible. Yeah, St. Lawrence is disgusting, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, as for fluoride, there's the you have the here I am here with the sign. I might have to go to the Montreal Council meetings and present this. But yeah, there's lead and arsenic. I mean, it's horrible stuff. Yeah, there's a dentist here that she has her own clinic. Forget her name. Mary Eve Arcan.
Yeah.
My friend was able to. She's a credible dentist. And dentist. Yeah. So you got some pretty credible people. This is her clinic. So I mean,
She she's saying that fluoride helps your teeth, or
no,
no?
she said that fluoride is not good for the teeth.
Oh, good, not
No,
good for the teeth.
she's got a clinic here, Ontario Galt.
But yeah, because they'll say,
As you can see here, DMD. How do you translate this? It's Firefox. I think it's here. Translate. I mean, DMD, Doctor of Medicine and Dentistry. So this isn't like Joe Blow off the street here. She's like,
yeah,
she knows her stuff. So, yeah, so she's involved in the international medicine toxicology. So she understands herself. I mean, this doesn't look like a clinic, in the middle of nowhere. I mean, this is a nice clinic, and she's in business, and that's her clinic there. So yeah, I mean, and also the numbers show here, like the majority of people when surveyed. Where's my survey? Yeah, 75% of residents are opposed to it. But as you can see, these numbers, it is what it is. I mean, I think after, I'm just looking for that, what do you call that, some fluoride. This is the EPA trial. Oh, here. Fluoride on trial. That's pretty good. At least I found it. I used
you got a court.
yeah.
You got a transcript.
So this is Fox News 22.
Okay.
Fox 2. Fluoride on trial. This came out a day ago. 2 days ago.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Fluoride on trial. Fluoride trial neurotoxicity of water fluoridation resumes next week. It's funny that trial. I guess you have to just put in those words. I mean, I just typed in. It's funny how I actually found it when I typed in trial wrong. So trial without an L.
Yeah.
So look at fluoride EPA trial, and I get this the first thing, and then I find another trial, and they block it. So there's definitely something going on here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you see that? You can show your audience that. You see, you misspelled trial, and you'll get it. Really makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Really makes you wonder, right? That's some trial. There, it disappears. Let's take that L off and see in the news. Like fluoride on trial, Buffalo, 2 weeks ago. Fighting fluoridation of water. See, and then you type in trial, and okay, I guess it's there, but let's go to DuckDuckGo and let's DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo is like a little bit better, but it's still like it won't be as biased with its sources, but
Well, I mean, DuckDuckGo's main person. I mean, it's is it an Israeli company? Gabriel White.
yeah, it's an Israeli company. Yeah,
I think it is. I don't know. It is an Israeli company.
yeah.
It's not. It's
Well,
an,
isn't it owned by a Jew though? Jewish person. Jewish.
he's,
Isn't he? Or
I don't
isn't
see
he
anything
like
here
funded
that
or
would
something
make
like
me
that?
feel that. I mean, he's a person, right? I mean,
Right. Well, of
there's
course.
there isn't an article about him. It
Nothing
just
wrong
says
with
that
being Jewish. That's
look, I'm not racist, so it is. I mean, let's see. It's an American company. I mean,
right.
they definitely regamed their things. I mean, like if you type in things about COVID, it's just like well, here trial. I mean, I need that Fox News thing isn't even here. That's funny. I just spelled trial wrong to get it, so it's gamed. Look, see, you might
Yeah.
get it here. You don't even get it. That's what's funny. Oh, there's a Bloomberg. Fluoride case challenges EPA chemical evaluation. When was this put up? Yeah, that's a good one. That's crazy though. How you couldn't get the. What is it? This says plaintiffs ask federal court to ban fluoridation chemicals in upcoming ruling. That's pretty like just straight up. And it was so hard to find this article. It really makes you wonder. And they actually have this. That's crazy. They actually have the Fluoride Action Network's lawyer debate talking to Del Bigtree. That is okay. I can definitely see why they definitely don't want people seeing this. Because like on my Facebook page, I for the fluoride issue, that's one of the main things I have there. That's the lawyer. So that's definitely something they don't want people to see. And it's there on Fox, which is pretty cool. Bloomberg, that's 2022, 2020. Inside fluoridation case challenges EPA validation. That's pretty cool. At least Bloomberg covered it, but I'm surprised that you have to type in the wrong. Where is it? You got to type in the wrong fluoride EPA trial. You know, let's not even put in trial fluoride EPA. But you know what? Fluoride Fox News. How about that? Seems like Fox News is. There you go. EPA reverses itself on fluoride. Fluoride necessary, too much a good thing. At least they're covering it. Tools, recent, I don't know, past year. Here, fluoride on trial. A day ago, Fox 2, you were saying there. It seems like it's the only one actually covering it. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something I'm going to share. It's just interesting. And that's happening in California, too. Press, let's see what's going on here. Ian Pressmeyer. What's this? Yeah, I mean, that's it seems like that's the only article that's actually covering it. That's nuts. That's really nuts. So that's something I'm going to read later on. Yeah, man. Let's turn this off. Stop screening. It's getting late.
Yeah, it's getting late.
We want the overtime here. 2.5 hours.
Yeah, overtime pay. Any last words that you may have?
I mean, the last words is,
anything
if you're passionate about something, you should put in. You should at least try on it, because it's like you grow from it. I give you an example. It's like if you really feel like you have the energy and time to gamble on something comfortably in some ways. I mean, obviously, if it means so much to you that then the stakes are higher and you should be able to gamble more. I'll give you an example. I'm trying to just make the analogy with gambling in real life, like gambling at a casino. If you could comfortably gamble on a bet at a casino, you should do it, because the regret is going to be a lot worse than like the consequences of losing $5, $10. I mean, I don't know if people have regrets about gambling $5 to $10, but I'm saying like gambling with time and energy, with the fluoride, with protesting. I don't think I could have lived later in life like not having done it. And I did it. I realized that there's other people doing it, other things going on. I didn't really need to continue. I grew from it, and I learned from it, and I moved on. And there's another. It's kind of like you might start swimming and realize it might be another sport you're really interested in. You start from there, but you should at least it's kind of like when you play these sports, it burns energy and it challenges you, and it keeps you going. So I'm basically saying like stay active. That's a good way of saying it. Good analogy, like with sports. Stay active, and stay active also with politics and things or anything you're passionate about, because regret sucks, and you don't build on regret. So if you don't do 10 things, you're not going to build on regret of not doing 10 things. At least with doing things and failing, or realizing that it's not your time, or it might not be you. I mean, someone else may continue this later. Like the torch is in the public realm now. With fluoride, the torch is in the. So yeah, that's a good one-liner if you want to put it like that. Like the torch is in the public realm, and not. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna write that out. The torch is in the public realm. Yeah, it's.
I always say that you may not change the world, but you can definitely, your actions can definitely affect those around you, and they can inspire others.
Yeah, you might
to do the change that you want, I guess. Maybe not change the whole world, but affect your environment. So definitely, don't get too down on yourself. Don't get too angry. Don't look at porn too much. Don't get distracted too much.
Yeah, porn is. I mean, I'm just gonna say, I haven't watched like this computer, like these two computers, like so the one from 2016 to 2024 now has never had any porn on it, and the one from just started using it. It's gonna be another 10 years with this computer. It's new one here, or 8 years. I mean,
yeah,
I'll probably change in like 6 years or something. But yeah, I mean, so that's crazy. It just seems like the computer before this one was just disgusting. It was like from 2004, 2004 to like 2012 was when I stopped watching porn. Porn is not a good thing. It really numbs your mind. It's kind of like weed in some ways. It numbs you. I mean, the weed will numb your mind with like, it's been a very long time since I've smoked weed. They're talking like 13 years ago or something, a long time ago. I don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Weed will numb your mind with psychosis and just some bizarre thoughts of whatever,
Yeah.
imagination or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, porn will numb your mind with just perversion. I mean, not perversion, because it's like, sexual gratification, it can be a reward in life. And if you're rewarding yourself whenever you want, then like what kind of life will you actually live, And it will be a dull, mediocre, life with, it's kind of like if you can print money whenever you want and have food appear in front of you, or if you can print money whenever you want, that's a better example. Then what's going to motivate you to develop yourself to go earn and make money? It's like same thing with porn.
Yeah.
That's basically if you can just make pixels on the screen appear that gets you off, and you shouldn't really see women as a reward, anyways, or men, or whatever you're into. You shouldn't. That's another thing porn does. You objectify. You turn people into pieces of meat. Like you turn people into objects, and material in some ways. Like you materialize, it's like, like you have sex toys now. You have like, a woman's genitals as like a toy. It's like you have that now. When you actually say it out loud and you think about it, it's actually pretty fucking nuts. Like it's sick. It's actually like crazy when you think about it. Like, you know, like you have a young girl who's like 8 who has like a pink Barbie doll or pink toys, and then you have like men who are like in their 50s with pink genitals of women. It's just bizarre. It's like it's regressing. You're actually regressing. They say that pornography and sexuality will actually make you immature, and like it's true. It does. It actually does that to you. I just remember the effects it had on my mind very vaguely, and it does make you immature. Like the jokes and things you're into, and it regresses your development. And yeah, don't watch porn. I mean, I could talk a lot about porn now, how bad it is for you. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it really isn't good for you. It's it is just like drugs. It can cause mental illness. Like I'm not joking. Yeah, I mean, I could just go on about it. It's really not good, but it definitely will not exercise any aspect of your development. Or I mean, you know, if you can't put it on a resume, don't do it. You know, so you can put
Yeah.
on a resume. You can exactly. If you can't put it on a resume, just don't do it. It's if you're not gonna do it in front of your mom or grandma, like chances are it's not good. You know.
No.
And if you can't talk about it at the next family get together, most likely isn't something that's good anyways.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. I mean, and you know, I mean, discipline goes a long way because you know it's like protesting and like I was saying, you know, like I've developed myself. Maybe there's bigger things for me in life. Maybe it's in a different country. Maybe it's a different things altogether. But I've the issue of fluoridation. I mean, there's eventually like it's gonna end anyways. I don't have to do anything. I mean, the 2 plants in Montreal, the Pointe-Claire and Dorval plant are going to shut down in the next like 6 to 8 years, and they're the only ones fluoridated on the island. And there's going to be all the plants on the island of Montreal are going to shut down and be replaced with a central plant that won't be fluoridating anyways in the next like 10 years.
Mm.
So fluoridation is going to end. All I did was come out 10 years before that and say like how bad it was. And 2 years before the trial that's saying that now, it's kind of like the poster. Like I came out 2 months before people are actually saying that October 7th was an inside job. Like I think eventually they're going to say that. Like it's not because now the family members want an investigation, and Netanyahu's saying that he's saying that we will only investigate it after the war, but he says the war is indefinite. So like he's basically saying we're never going to investigate it. So he's just.
Well, yeah, that's the same thing as the vaccine companies saying, "Oh yeah, we'll produce the side effects of the vaccine 70 years after."
70 years.
70.
Why 70 years?
That's what they wanted.
So
everyone will forget it, right?
Well, that's it.
They don't want to know.
Anybody who was involved that could be prosecuted.
And there was no
Why 7 years? Do you actually have that article? You should send me that article.
Yeah, I could send you the article.
70 years, eh?
Yeah, it was like in the court. I think it was Pfizer and Moderna. They didn't want
They wanted like a seal for 70 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like me saying like I have all this money I've obtained to a judge. It's like saying to the judge. The judge is like, okay, we think that the 100K you have is obtained by fraud. And it's like me telling the judge, okay, I'll tell you only where I got this money only after I spend it. It's like it doesn't make any sense. It's the same thing with Netanyahu. He's like, and Pfizer and all this stuff. It's like let us like use the narrative and let us make out a profit, whatever. And so I mean.
It was all.
It's all smoke and mirrors. Usually, when you get them in a corner, they say stupid stuff like that. I mean that should tell you everything you want to know about. Like, we go October 7th when he's like, "Oh, we'll investigate only after the war," but we're using it as a narrative for the war.
Yeah, it was the FDA. The FDA wanted us have it up to 75 years to publicly disclose the
You want to send me the link
information on the vaccine.
Yeah, you should send me the link in the comments there. Yeah, I'll definitely post that on Facebook immediately. The person that goes up there, share and have as many people. Yeah, so. All right, so Reuters. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
That's for all the naysayers that say, "Oh, your article is a blog." Okay, Paramount. Where's FEA? Okay, 75 years. That's roughly okay. Yeah, okay. There you go. So it just goes to show you, man. I mean, the Chosen. What's your logo? It's
Yeah, I just call it? I just have it. It's based off of like you say it's based off of the Bible, like the chosen people, but it kind of a different slant on it in that the pyramid there's 144,000, and I just wanted to base my channel on that ideology or that belief that there's 144,000 souls that'll be uh, exiting this realm into the Exodus and given a name.
hopefully
It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep.
40,000 subscribers. I think
Yeah.
by now you just get shadow banned because you usually
it's kind of like
like
it does mention in the Bible, like when you escape, like you'll be given a white robe and you'll be given a new name, basically.
right.
Freemasons understand that.
Usually, when you get 140,000 subscribers, they're looking at you with a magnifying glass and going through your stuff with a fine comb. Because, as you notice, like as you see, like the most popular like channels on YouTube, they start narrowing towards like just brain dead BS. Like as you start getting more popular, it's like more mainstream and brain dead.
It doesn't have to be that way.
Well, I mean, on mainstream YouTube, it's like that, but on on Rumble, I mean, it's very different on Rumble. We should have streamed this on Rumble. Next time,
I have a Rumble account. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rumble would be.
And then you could just say whatever the hell you want.
Then I would be like, and then maybe we could try to get like some of the other
Kool-Aid with this.
Well, I mean, I still have to be cognizant of what I'm saying. I mean,
the C19.
That's the problem. Once you slip and you say one thing, it's like, and it's on tape. It's over, But I'm like right now where it's like I'm thinking about
it gives you a chance to give you a disclaimer or whatever. Like, I do not endorse the views of this guest or whatever.
Yeah, I'm being interviewed. I'm not associated with anything. I'm just being interviewed, man. I'm being interviewed.
But it was weird though. My last YouTube channel, it was just out of the blue. Like they just said "F you." Like there's like they said I was like promoting scams and deceptive practices. It's like mostly like just political content. It wasn't anything commercial.
I mean, after a while, like you'll have like someone like
bizarre.
But like you'll have someone like Richard Medders, and I like his work a lot. It's like let me see. Actually, it's spelled like Richard Medders. He's like a journalist from Austria. He speaks English. It's actually the second one. Richard Medhurst. Medhurst. But anyways, he basically they'll just demonetize you. I mean, they just don't like you, and they can't just outright ban you. They'll just demonetize you.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
I mean, I never made money from it, so.
Well, I mean, if you get over 1,000, or 10,000 views on a video, I wonder if I could demonetize my account with that one clip I got 12,000 views on. If you could have like a commercial or something, if you have like 1 million views on a video, like say I got.
Yeah, if you get sponsors or something like that.
Yeah, you could get
reverse osmosis sponsors, eh?
What do you mean?
Companies for reverse osmosis.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I mean, if reverse osmosis, yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, where was I going with this? I think, look, discipline. If there was one takeaway for the audience, is you could do all this crazy stuff like stand in some busy metro and just captivate everybody, some university, win some court case, make a difference with fluoride, changing you. I mean, in the end, I'm just moving the Overton window. That's really what I'm doing. It's just awareness, and I mean, we're all competing for that. I mean, that's really what news is. News. So in some ways, I'm on par with news companies and influencers or whatever. I mean, if I've made the media, I'm surprised that I made the media, but haven't like gone viral with my social media. I have to like improve more on that. It's pretty interesting. Most people,
I think we could build upon it. Like, I like this format.
yeah. I'm just surprised that like I got all this news clip, all this news. I have like on my Columbus issue, the issue of Columbus. I have like all the news clips like over here actually, like here, just on the issue of Columbus. I printed it all out. So this is all like the articles that covered the issue of Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's really half of this because I've printed the ones in French and English.
Mm-hmm.
But really makes you wonder,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm wondering why I'm not. I should have actually included my social media. Some people, some of the news commenters asked me about that. They're like, "Oh, what's your social media? What's your X or whatever?" And I didn't really say. I was just like, "Oh, whatever." I just.
Oh, they asked you if you're on X?
I think it was Twitter back then. Was it? I don't know. They asked me if I was on. I think it was that. Yeah, when I was one of the newscasters. I like City News. They're very. They don't hesitate with there isn't. They're not like CTV and Global. They'll cover really anything. I mean, they're less political with what they cover. I mean, they covering the Palestinian. What do you call it? Protests. I've seen them. I haven't I could have been interviewed, but I mean I'm not Palestinian, and there's plenty of Palestinians who can speak better on the issue, so I just left it alone. Yeah, I mean the issue with this thing going to court is going to make a splash because I actually have a appointment with the lawyers for that on Monday, actually, on the 29th. Look at my calendar. So yeah, so it's going to be interesting what they end up saying. I mean, but yeah, I'm not going to go back to that exact spot until they actually say you're allowed, or the judge says you're allowed. That's your right. You were violated. And then I'll go back there. I mean, they give me an arbiter, or they say the police will accompany you and you have to stand there. Then we're going for it. Yeah, but I mean, I already got my point out there. I mean, the sign is. People have taken photos. It's already gone viral. But again, I mean, there's a genocide going on. I mean, here, if you type in genocide Palestine or genocide, or just type in genocide, period. Genocide. That's crazy. That's not. If you type in genocide in Google, the first thing you get now is Palestine. Yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy. The news. It says the ICJ orders Israel to prevent acts of genocide in Gaza. That's nuts. That is nuts. So it is official that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. It is official. It makes you wonder.
Mm.
It is Toronto Star. And they're only focusing on one judge. No, there was only one judge that didn't rule. So they're just why one judge's opinion may resonate. It's pretty funny. But this Toronto Star, they're only going to focus on one judge when the majority of judges, the 14 other judges, landmark genocide case. At least CTV is covering it. That is pretty crazy, man. Genocide. That is not a funny word. But Netanyahu has always got a smirk on his face, so I guess it's funny to him. But Canada takes no clear position on interim ruling in genocide case. Of course not. I mean, they said they'd go with it, but now they're saying they're not. World Court demands Israel limits deaths. How can that even be they're yeah, you can kill, but just limit it. I don't know, man. There's just something about that. It's like, you know, even if they're killing 2 people a day, that's not good, you know. It's
Yeah.
it really makes you wonder. Trudeau silent while Liberal caucus remains split over ICJ ruling. Well, you know, it's affecting the Liberals now, so you know, I guess now I can stand with a more gutsy side. You know, Israel is committing genocide. World Court, Israel is committing genocide. You know, so it's like I think that's enough of a sign. You know, please help stop it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to come up with better signs now, or just go through 10 signs and rotate the signs or something. That's it. It's gonna be interesting. I mean that's another thing too. Is like I'm protesting Israel Palestine. It's like the World Court is already saying they're committing genocide. So I mean, how much more standing do I need to do? It's like I've sacrificed myself in the earliest moments of this in regards to the truth, you know. And you know, the one thing I do regret is not doing the same with COVID. I was too busy with fluoride. I should have been standing in metros and stuff and saying like, you know, scamdemic. You know, I don't know if we can say that here.
CDC.
Yes, exactly, all that stuff.
CDC.
Watch the scamdemic. You know, like here's the links. Watch scamdemic. Yeah, here's the. I had enough flyers and stuff. I mean, I was at a few protests. I went to what do you call it, Ottawa. This is a really cool thing I got at Walmart. It's a stool that folds. So.
Oh.
So
yeah,
you can bring. I mean, if you're in a metro or something and you don't want to sit down on some nasty, you know, benches that have gum and coffee and food on it, you can just bring this and. I want to find a way to connect it to my bag. The back of my bag is flat. Oh, that's pretty heavy actually. The back of my bag is flat, and you know it's like just have it connected or something. It'd probably be much more heavier. But what's cool about this thing is that you can't legally have a weapon in Canada. You can't legally you can't have anything for self-defense, but I mean, like, that's really like pepper spray or something or a knife. But you can have this. It's not a weapon, but it can definitely work pretty well as a weapon if you're like, get back and you're like swinging this. I mean, I don't see why anybody would try to, you know, like take you on with this. It's pretty, you know, like throws at them. But I wanted to tell something to people or any academics who ever watch this. Here, this is something I do for class now. So instead of the teacher would assign a book to read. So here's an example. I got the history of Iran. So what I do is I have people cut the spine of the book. I'll go to like a print shop and cut the spine off it, and then I have single pages, as you can see, like, on both sides, and I'll scan each page. It's easier to scan a page, and I'll have it read to me with text to speech. And I need to find a new tech. Oh, she cut it really, really bad here. Oh, okay, that sucks. Closing this. Yeah, that's okay. I screwed up here. But yeah, my point is basically you can have it removed, the spine removed, and then you can read it. Now I have it read to you by text to speech. But yeah, where was it going with all that? Yeah, you seem tired, man. If you want to cut this short.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours, so I'm pretty.
This thing is pretty.
I'm actually. I'm not gonna lie. I'm ordering a pizza right now.
Are you? That's funny. Here, I don't know if you can order me a pizza. Actually, I'm gonna go straight to bed. It is. What time is it here? It is one.
Jeez, it's like probably 1
Yeah, it's
o'clock or
1 o'clock over here. What time do you have there?
midnight. Midnight.
9 o'clock. Okay. I ended up getting a new phone because phones are obsolete after 5 years or 4 years. My iPhone 12 Pro was, so that's 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. Coming up on its 5th year, it was glitching. So I got this titanium tracking device. That's what these phones are, tracking devices. Set my alarm for tomorrow. Try to get some good sleep. I gotta make that. Let's wake up at 10 a.m. 10 a.m.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I get at least 9 a.m. 9 hours of sleep.
All right. Well, thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about Ray here.
Discipline, and you can do anything anything someone else has done, you can definitely do, and anything you can imagine within certain limits, I think you can do as well. Because, anything someone else has done, you can definitely do 100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Until
it.
next time.
So what I do? Just leave studio.